Com. The Milwaukee Brewers back-to-back walk-off wins and their first sweep of a team as they took down the Boston Red Sox 6-5 this afternoon. And you heard that game right here on 100.5 ESPN. Caleb Durbin with the sac fly in the bottom of the 10th to win it for the Brew Crew.
3-1. Popped him up into center field. Backing up is Rafaela. Still going back. This ball is carrying. This is going to end the game, I think. Rafaela the catch. Tagging from third. Frelick. Throw home is late. Brewers have done it 2 days in a row. Walk-off winners in the 10th inning. Caleb Durbin, first walk-off RBI. A sac fly wins the ball game.
The Brewers are off tomorrow before they head to Philadelphia to take on the Phillies for a 5:45 first pitch on Friday night.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
You gotta keep your chill with Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I am savage.
So you're not special.
Jim, if we want to play this game, we can play this game.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's going to swing on Jim. He's a complicated fellow.
People like me.
I don't think so.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
We're learning a lot about each other. Jim's an onion. You got to peel back the layers to get to the good part.
I came in and I gave myself a buzz cut. It actually looks more shaved in the horrible lighting in the Everlight Solar Studio. I went buzz cut, the one, I would say, on the trimmer, but it looks like I'm bald. It's wild, the lighting in here. Like, this is wild, like, on there.
And for me, remember, the camera also adds 10 pounds. It takes hair away from Jim and it adds 10 pounds.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison, alongside Matt Hamilton and Molly Brown, here's Jim Rutledge.
It is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are presented by Coors Light. If the mountains are blue, you know what to do.
And that's crush a Coors Light.
I am Jim Rutledge. I have the power. I'm alongside Molly Brown and Matt Hamilton in Primetime Orsheim in the Everlight Solar Studio. I've been bullied into wearing a hat today. Kind of.
No, not by us.
No, not by you guys. Not by anyone. But I do not love the bald reflection in the Everlight Solar Studio because my hair is buzz cut. If you're tuning in yesterday, or if you missed it from yesterday, we talked about it. You can stream the show on the ESPN Madison YouTube to see me wearing my ESPN Madison hat. And yesterday, I revealed my buzz cut. And
is he going through a midlife crisis?
I am not. I guess I am 45. I guess this is midlife.
I mean, now's the time.
It is the time.
At least he didn't buy like a sports car or something.
Man, that would have been cool if he did.
I'm 40.
I would have been a big advocate for that. If you want to go through a midlife crisis, I'll be your yes man.
Okay, yeah, all right. Maybe I'll get a boat.
Yeah.
Might be buying a seasonal site, I guess, so that could be
What's a seasonal site?
For camping. Maybe instead of
you book it for the year, the summer.
And then you can like leave the camper there, so it's kind of your, like, you can't go to the campsite after it's closed, but you can kind of just have it like May through October. It's your like home away from home.
Okay.
You leave it set up there. I'm not sure if we're going to do that. There's a few things we've got to work through. Maybe that's my midlife crisis, but again, that's kind of for the families. That's not much of a. It's like a Clark Griswold midlife crisis.
Come up with another. We'll come up with a better one.
Yeah, what should Jim do for his midlife crisis? Speaking of haircuts, though.
In addition to the buzz cut.
844-770-3776.
Is he going through a midlife crisis?
Dude, since I've met him.
See, that's the part that's so bad. Like, I don't understand the last part. It's like, he just said something to say something.
Dude.
Like, he was thinking it was going to be like a zinger.
Hey, we've all been there, guys. Come on.
Because I think he met me. He played for he met me when he was like a freshman with the Badgers. So how long ago was that?
Oh, he was 20.
He's what,
freshman
30?
Would have been 2010, I guess.
Yeah, so it is,
So wait, let's backtrack. You
That's
said you're
15
45?
years ago.
Yeah. He met me when I was 30.
That's an early midlife crisis.
I hope that was not my midlife crisis. I'm hoping 45
Wow,
is
good
midlife.
point. Good point. Let's knock on wood.
Yeah, not 30. Otherwise, it's getting close.
Yeah.
But on the
halfway there, Jim. That's a lot better than saying. If you're 30, 3/4.
Too close.
You'd be 3/4 the way there, according to Ben.
Goodness great. All right, I'm getting stressed out now. All right. Prime time. Put yourself on camera. You went to the barber. Evan Cohen brought this up from Unsportsmanlike, and you did what Evan suggested. I'm guessing you went to the barber and said, "Give me the Le Fleur."
The Le Fleur. I mean, it is kind of tight, I will say, but
It's not tight. I'm not tight.
That's what I was thinking right when you said it is kind of tight. I'm like, that's not tight.
I did not ask for the Le Fleur, but once Matt and Molly pointed it out about 10 minutes before the show started in our pre-show meeting, I was very much, this is the Le Fleur cut. I think I got the sides I'm a little too short on, though. I feel like Le Fleur is like a 2.
I think it's a good summer cut. You gotta have it light.
Yeah. I like the haircut. It looks good. I like the short sides. Like, I think,
But
especially for the summer.
Isn't Le Fleur a little longer on the sides?
No.
He could be, but he has the benefit
buzzed.
of infinite funds. He can get it touched up all the time. Because one of the things,
true.
depending on how your hair grows, a common one for guys, I don't know yours, is that the side of your hair will grow faster. So then if you get it cut and all of a sudden you need a haircut faster than you normally do because you get kind of like DuckTales on the side. And so that's one of the things.
It just looks poofy.
Yeah,
So
that used to annoy the heck out of me before I shaved. That's actually why I shaved my head, because I was getting the DuckTales and I was so annoyed with it, and I hate them. And then I was just, again, going back to like, I just don't want to get my hair cut anymore. At least not for the foreseeable future.
So back when you had hair, how often?
2 days ago.
Yesterday, actually.
Yeah.
How often were you getting your hair cut? Because for me, it's once every like 5 weeks.
So it's about once a month, because again, the sides would grow so much. Now, ironically, the last time I got my hair cut, the lady that cut it did a really good job, and it lasted longer than normal.
Yep.
So she did great, but still, my whole thing was on top. I was just thinner on top than I cared to be. Like, I'm out at the beach and I'm getting sunburn on the top of my head, and I have to like spray sunscreen like through my hair to like not get sunburn on the top of my head.
I have to do that, and I have a full head of hair. Otherwise, my scalp gets burnt.
Exactly, that's what was happening.
the worst.
So then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna roll with it. We'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll grow it back. Maybe I won't. It is jarring once in a while. I look in the mirror and be like, oh yeah, that's not me. But otherwise, I wear the hat and I look like me. But you can't. The Adam Madison chimes, Jim. You could throw back your entire wardrobe to the '90s if you're gonna have a midlife crisis. Then do it right. I feel like '90s is in though, so I guess that
90s is in.
Yeah. So that would work in my favor. Jinko jeans, are those in? Matt knows.
That's like your go-to 90s clothing that you bring up, I feel like, which is so funny.
Boss. It's the same idea. Like
I don't know Boss.
Or
Hugo
Tommy
Boss?
Hugo Boss, Tommy Hilfiger, Jinko.
You know Hugo Boss.
I know the name. I just can't picture it.
It's like a Tommy Hilfiger. Like, they're all similar kind of baggy, big clothing. But Prime got a haircut. He looks good. You can see him on the the camera here on the ESPN Madison YouTube.
All he needs is a puffer vest to look like Matt LaFleur. And your eyebrows waxed. Did you get your eyebrows waxed? Don't be afraid to admit it.
Did they trim your eyebrows at least?
I do not get my eyebrows trimmed when I get my haircut. I do that myself, actually.
You don't do it when like they usually offer. That's one of the benefits of getting your haircut. They usually be like, you want us to trim down the eyebrows? Like, yeah, sure.
Guys get like snacks when you get your haircut.
What?
You get like a hot towel.
Where do you
The hot towel,
Our
yes.
boys used to get that. Like they would have like
Children get snacks.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
but like they would get like I don't know peanuts and stuff.
That's
at, like,
one
a place.
very specific brand of place to get your haircut.
Is it?
Yes,
Okay, we don't go there anymore. But
I would say this: I'm not eating food. I mean,
it
Gentleman's
grosses
Club
me
is
out.
definitely not a place I'm eating food at. But like, just a barber with just like
Hair?
loose peanuts out.
Wait, would you rather eat at the
Gentleman's
barber
Club.
or at
Gentleman's Club.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess
doubt.
I would do that. Yeah.
I mean,
No
there could be
doubt.
particles of different things at both places, but
Yeah, but I feel like a Gentleman's Club like has a health code. A bowl of peanuts just with like children around and men and like no, just loose peanuts. No.
I do think salons and hairdressers are probably some of the grossest places you could ever be.
yeah, they're just floating hair.
There's floating hair.
Probably
but
just like a gentleman's club, though. I don't know.
All
At a
right.
certain point, you got to wear a hairnet in the
Is-
food service industry.
Is this our Jim, Matt, and Molly poll question? Would
Yes.
you rather,
Yes.
would you rather eat loose
Society
peanut?
Unlimited wants to be
Yeah.
like connected with this question.
For sure.
Would you rather eat? Here's
Talk
what we're
about
gonna do here.
unlimited.
All right, we don't have to post this one online, but you can chime in on the Carlos Talking text line, a Society Unlimited poll question, and off the books one, 844-770-3776. Would you rather eat at a gentleman's club or loose peanuts at a
Well,
hairdresser?
I think you ought to ask, would you rather eat loose peanuts at the gentleman's club or the hairdresser?
No, because the loose peanuts part is part of it. Like, if they're just out and the people are just manhandling them.
I'm assuming there's in the shell.
Right, I would
but
assume
still.
so, but I don't know.
Still,
You know, at least you know the inside of the shell is clean.
how long have they been there?
But how do you open a peanut? You crack it in your mouth.
Well, you can use your hands, your fingers, and break it open.
What's the fun of that? You got to suck the salt off.
Off loose peanuts.
Oh, see, that's where you pick and choose your battles. Like, you know what? I don't need extra salt for this peanut that I have to eat while I'm getting my hair cut.
I don't need random fingered peanuts, salt in my mouth. Like, that's just a pass then.
Yeah. Agreed.
Sick.
So the Brewers won today.
Linger on your
and
fingers.
And yesterday and the day before. They are streaking, if you will.
Let's go.
So it's a gentleman's club?
They're enjoying a lot of loose peanuts. They're streaking.
Eat a lot of peanuts
Take
at
me out
baseball
to the
games.
ball game, am I right?
Yeah,
For sure. There you go. Yep.
So the Brewers won today. We are the home of Milwaukee Brewers here on ESPN Madison.
Sounds of summer.
Yes. Loose peanuts at a Brewers game.
And Cracker Jacks.
Could that be more? Buy me some loose peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care how salty they are.
That's pretty good.
Or it's fruit.
I don't know where you're going with that with your...
I don't know.
Yeah.
So, yes, the Brewers won today. They won 6-5 in extra innings. They get the sweep of the Red Sox, 4-game winning streak. I believe...
First sweep of the season for the
Yes,
Brewers.
I believe that makes them tied for third/fourth place in the NL Central. They're a half game in front of Cincinnati, so Cincinnati plays tonight. If Cincinnati wins, then they're going to be tied for fourth. So you're back, baby.
We're streaking.
You are streaking.
Let's go.
And not to
What are you going to do?
be too exciting about it, but last night, bases loaded. Yelich steps up to the plate just below the Mendoza line. What's he do? Home run, grand slam, walk off above the Mendoza line. Let's go.
More
Jim.
importantly, I think that lifted him above the negative WAR line. He was a negative player until that grand slam. So
Oh, that war line. No, I actually,
important.
okay, I don't know if your guys' phones do this. I assume so if you have the ESPN app.
does
but
your
like,
phone tell you WAR now? Like,
No. I have like the little like score bug on my home screen at all times during Brewers games, which is kind of nice. I hope that that's the way that it is for all like my
on your
preferred
phone?
sports. Yeah, it's crazy.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, I love it. I don't know. It just
I've
started
got a
happening.
lot of favorited teams, but I don't have like a little score bug.
Yeah,
on my
I don't know
screen.
why it started doing it, but I was like,
Fancy
all right,
Nancy
cool.
over
So
here.
that's
All
how I
right.
kind of keep up with the Brewers games, right? And like I literally was looking at it last night during the 9th inning, and I think the Brewers were down 1-0, and I was like, it's done. All right. So then like when I woke up, all of a sudden they won. Shocked.
yeah, it was not looking good for them. So they are again a half game in front of Cincinnati, depending on what Cincinnati does today.
Who does
They could-
Cincy play? To say
I have the standings in front of me. They're 3 games behind the Cardinals, 6 games behind the Cubs.
They play the Royals in Kansas City.
and
go
the
Royals.
Royals are as good as the Brewers. I guess better. They're
29 and 28. They're a half game behind the Brewers, too.
I see 29 and 27. The Royals.
I got 29 and 28.
and Ryan.
Whoa.
I got 28 and 28.
The Royals.
Wait, what?
Oh, I'm sorry, the Royals? Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about the
Jeez.
Reds.
I have the Royals 29 and 27.
Okay.
Did they play today? I don't know.
29 and 27.
They need to be playing a doubleheader in that case. We don't need to get in the semantics.
So, anyways, the Brewers streaking into maybe third place.
Let's
possibly
go.
Staying in fourth place. But they have won 4 in a row. So that's fun for them. Actually, we do have some good. So the Brewers are streaking in the right direction. Yelich has dug out of his horrible funk. He is on a 6-game hitting streak now. And Caleb Durbin is hitting a little bit now.
Baseball guy.
And
He's a rookie.
And Contreras was on a streak. He was 0 for 4 today, so the team is coming around a little bit. I don't know. I think they're a 500 team. I think that's what they're going to land at there. But 500 is interesting, and to your point, they're scoring some runs.
Yeah.
So they're not mid and runless.
Yeah, those those shutouts still rough.
Starting rotation's getting healthier, too, though. Jose Quintana just had his rehab assignment down in Nashville, set to start on Sunday, sounds like.
How many
Probably their
starts
best
do you think
pitcher.
you're going to get out of Jose Quintana?
I would say, optimistically throughout the whole season, I would hope 15. 15 for the season. Because once Nestor Cortez comes back, hopefully Brandon Woodruff comes back too.
Because he's 36 years old.
Oh, yeah. No. All their good pitchers are either too old or too young. They don't have anyone in their prime other than Freddie.
Freddie, yeah.
And Freddie is, he has his ups and downs.
If you were betting
sometimes.
right now, and you can chime in on this as well, 844-770-3776. I guess it could be our first poll question. Now that the Brewers won 4 in a row, everyone's going to lose their mind. Do you think the Brewers are going to be, I don't even think buyers. There's no way they should be buyers, but do you think they're going to be sellers at the trade deadline?
I feel like you could ask if they're going to be buyers.
Do you actually think that they're going to be buyers?
No.
Like buyers
They'd
or
have to
sellers,
get incredibly hot to be buyers.
but also like the Cubs would have to fall off because the Cubs are 11 games above 500.
Well, unless they end up getting, I don't know, within like 4 games of the Cubs at the trade deadline, and then at that point they say, if we want to get over the hump with them.
True.
When
But
is-
that's not usually what the Brewers are barely
No.
buyers to begin with.
True.
So the story usually is, are they going to be sellers? That's why I wanted to ask her like that. Like the generic is, are they buyers or sellers? Because like that's kind of like how the storylines go. But realistically, it's really
It was like 2 years ago we were complaining about getting rid of our ace pitcher.
they're usually sellers.
Yeah, selling when we were like
Hader?
leading. Yeah, it was Hader. We
That
were
was-
like either
Has
leading
Hader
or
done
doing
much?
That
well.
was a while ago.
He did like
He's San Diego's closer.
He's
Is he?
currently with the Astros
Oh,
now.
Astros closer. That's right, because Presley
Yes.
left there. Yeah, so.
He's not great with Houston right now. Devin Williams also not doing well with the
Yeah,
Yankees.
well, he's great enough where they must pitch well last year because they moved off their closer Presley to go to Hader. So
Yes.
like I would still bet on Hader is going to be good. Like they signed him last year, he played well. They traded their regular closer to go to Hader. So
But that's what I'm
Gotcha.
saying. It's like, when we got rid of him, weren't the Brewers in like
yeah.
a pretty good chance to?
it wasn't quite a
they were
way.
leading the division at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So to ask if we're within striking range of the Cubs, are we buyers or sellers? Like, we're not even buyers when we're at the top
Hey.
of the table.
2 years ago, Christian Yelich wasn't this hot, Matt. What are we talking about? A 6-game hitting streak, and it's May.
Yeah, and we just tied our season-long win streak.
We just got a sweep, Matt.
Yeah, I know.
but also
This is turning out to be our year.
I feel like it was more
100,
than
100 wins, Molly.
I feel like it was more
We're
than
close.
I feel like it was more than 2 years ago that the Hader trade happened.
Oh, I'm sure it was. Like I said, the other day could be 6 days ago or 6 years ago. I will
like-
still use the term the other day.
So if the Brewers are if the Brewers are 500 at the trade deadline, and like they're within striking distance of the wild card, if I'm a Brewers fan, I'm saying, yeah, go ahead and trade Rhys Hoskins because he's got a 2-year deal, so he's done.
This is his final year of his
Yeah,
deal.
so that's what I'm saying. Like, so get rid of him. I don't know what Peralta's
might
contract
have-
status is.
If they were
We
really,
have our best batting average right now.
Who cares?
if they
you're-
were really
if-
selling at the deadline, they would be trading Freddie Peralta. Correct.
right, but if you but at bare minimum, if you're 500 and like 4 games out of the wild card at the deadline, like you trade Hoskins, you don't need
He'd
him.
be the number one person if you were going to try and
'Cause
move
you
off
get,
somebody.
you get
yeah.
something for him.
Yeah, he's doing really well this year.
Yeah, no, it was a great signing. I thought they were going to do that last year, but they won more games than I thought. I think that was part of their backup plan last year when they signed
Hoskins
Hoskins.
is our second best bat right now.
Yeah, but if you're 500,
Sal Frelick, number one.
Yep.
Freddie Peralta is only 28 years old. I feel like I thought he was a lot older
is that
than
because
that.
Willie Peralta also played for the Brewers?
Yes.
I definitely make that mistake.
Maybe.
And they didn't overlap, but it feels like they overlapped.
Yeah, Freddie Peralta, same age as Jaire Alexander.
Same age as me.
Oh, Molly.
He's older than me, though. He was born in 1996. Old guy.
Savage.
So you can get into the show on that 844-770-3776. Do you want the Brewers to be sellers at the trade deadline?
Are we asking, do you want or are they?
Are they going to be sellers at the trade line? We could put that up. We had to do a lot of Packer stuff today, so we could keep that as just an on-air one, too, because I'm kind of done with the Brewers, unless you guys got something else. I mean, the trade deadline's kind of far out.
July 31st.
Yeah, we got a little time on it. Maybe I got a little bit in front of myself. But also, breaking news along the Wisconsin Badger basketball front. As they got some good news on the, I would say, player returning sort of side of things here. You want to break the news here, Ryan, or you want me to?
You got it, Jim.
All righty. So the Badger basketball team is going to be adding John Blackwell back. He is not going to the NBA. He participated in the NBA draft combine. They told him ain't going to happen. So
Is that what
That
happens?
was going to be my question.
Yeah,
Is
that's
it like
why they come back.
yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
It's not like he
or-
thought there was unfinished business at Wisconsin.
Or you come back like
that's what he might frame it as.
Alex Condon went back to Florida, but he's also getting the bag. So like, but Blackwell, he was not going to be he would have had to like.
So he's
shine.
going to think, hey, if I can develop for one more season, I might have a shot at making a team's G League next
or
year.
worse, more likely. Hey, I'm going to go back and
Get
I
a
think he's
ton
got
of
2 years
NIL
left.
deals?
Yeah, I'm going to make some cash.
And the NIL, and then
get my degree?
realize that I'm not an NBA caliber player.
Yeah.
Fair. Hey,
Not a bad option.
So the good news is for Badger
at least
fans,
he made it to like whatever he is now. Was he 19? Made it to 19 before realizing he wasn't NBA quality. Like, I've learned at like 7.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's
Right?
true.
Like,
Yeah.
he got to live the dream a lot longer than me.
Yeah, and he also
He's 20.
He didn't cut his hair to the extent that I did, but he did cut down the dreads to kind of just a more, I guess, professional look. You can find not that anything unprofessional about the dread. I'm just trying to describe his cut. It's more of like you're a salesman cut. This has got the photo I have in front of me has the dreads, but a little bit of a fade is his new cut there. I think both looks look good for him, but he has switched up his haircut, but he is back, more importantly, to the Wisconsin Badgers. He is not going to the NBA draft. He's not going to another team. That was my bigger concern. I didn't really think he was going to enter the NBA draft, but I was worried he was going to go to another team. If you are worried about your physical health, whether it is you want to get stronger, you can use the Carbon World Health Gym on their original Madison location. You also can ask them about hormone replacement treatment if you are not building muscle like you used to, if you are not sleeping like you used to, if you don't have the energy that you used to. Carbon World Health can help with hormone replacement treatment. You also can talk to them about GLP-1s and cryotherapy and red light therapy, all at Carbon World Health. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Hey, it's Molly Brown from Jim, Matt, and Molly. I've been drinking ZOA Energy for a while now, and I absolutely love it. ZOA is my go-to beverage when I need a boost without the crash that comes with other energy drinks. It's packed with natural ingredients like vitamin B and C, electrolytes, and has 0 sugar. It fuels my workouts and busy days. I recently had twins, and I have a toddler, so I need all of the energy I can get. Head over to ZOAEnergy.com to find the location nearest to you to pick up some ZOA for yourself. ZOA Energy for balance and drive.
Hey, it's Riley Yauk. Stay in the know on area high school sports and follow ESPN Madison on social media for Prep Mania on Deck, each week's preview for the top games and events. Prep Mania on Deck is brought to you by Zimbrick Honda, a proud supporter of high school sports and local communities.
All you have is one chance after an accident, one decision on who to call, one shot to get the help you need. Don't waste it on the one offer you get from your insurance company. Make the one call to Gruber Law Offices. It's the only one you'll need to make. Call us today. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Listen to Madison Money Guy every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on 100.5 ESPN and ESPNWisconsin.com.
I like to refer to inflation as the silent killer. It's an invisible risk. It's just the idea that things get more expensive over time. You're going to need milk and eggs when you're in your early 60s and when you're in your early 80s. You're going to get a loaf of bread, and it's going to be more expensive 20 years from now.
Christian Finfrock is the Madison Money Guy. Call him today at 208-1800.
We shopped at Chalmers because my husband wanted to get me a larger diamond in my engagement ring.
The folks at Chalmers said, well, we could just make it like this and we could do these things. Really just basically decided that there wasn't any place else we wanted to shop.
But not only did they create this new engagement ring for me with this gorgeous center stone, they also rehabbed this other ring, and I am beyond pleased.
Her favorite thing to do now is to walk around and show her hands and have people comment on it.
Siding Unlimited recently installed 20 brand new amazing energy efficient windows. Our Siding Unlimited crew removed the old windows, inspected the wall for wood rot, installed the new beautiful windows, and cleaned up behind ourselves. It was easy to get started. The homeowner met us at our amazing showroom on 2018 South Stoughton Road in Madison. Trust me, our showroom is a must-see. Looking for new windows, siding, roofing, and doors? Visit us at sidingunlimited.com or stop by our beautiful showroom in Madison.
The ESPN Madison Open presented by Coors Light is back. On Monday, August 4th, the ESPN Madison crew is packing their bags and teeing off at TPC, Wisconsin for a day on the links. This year's Open is benefiting Mentoring Positives, a nonprofit based right here in Madison dedicated to uplifting youth and families through mentoring, athletics, and youth entrepreneurship. ESPN Madison Open also brought to you by Badgerland Exteriors, Annex Wealth Management, Sunday Paper, Incredible Bank, Borikov Osman LLC, and Retirement Income Strategies.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions, securing homes and businesses in the Madison area since 1987.
Yeah, it's over, I'm circling these boxes, grabbing a brain, man, this hunger. I'm feeling something rotten, feeling kind of tilted, and I'm pouring out the truth. Just fading out these talkers, 'cause now all I want is you. I'm saying, come over here.
Tune into Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus Audio Network, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Behind the Bucks dives deep into Bucks in 6, a culture unknowingly created by former Bucks star Brandon Jennings. Take a look inside the Brandon Jennings story, the origin of Bucks in 6, how it became the rallying cry, and what it truly means to Jennings and Bucks fans alike. Find Behind the Bucks on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get your podcasts, including the brand new ESPN Wisconsin app. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher.
She's Molly Brown. I'm Jim Rutledge alongside Matt Hamilton in the Everlight Solar Studio. We are presented by Coors Light. You can see us on the ESPN Madison YouTube. You can stream us on the ESPN Wisconsin app. Primetime Orshawn Behind the Glass. We're going to get to Packer talk today. No Jaire Alexander at practice. No Elton Jenkins at practice today as OTA started. This is voluntary. And as Jason Wilde broke down for us yesterday, Jaire Alexander telling everyone he's going to show up for for mandatory training camp is not the home run that he's going to come back that maybe some people are trying to paint it as, because if he doesn't have his contract worked out to the Packers' liking, they don't want to see him on the field and possibly have him get hurt. But today the Packer players did talk, and we got Mark Tauscher coming up in a little bit. But Xavier McKinney spoke about Jaire at OTAs today.
I mean, yeah, we would all like him back. I talk to him every day, pretty much. So just try to stay connected with him. Obviously, we've developed a great relationship with each other. But my thing that I always, try to, talk about is, that's his. His own situation, and I want the best for him. So at the end of the day, I'm gonna be behind him regardless of what the situation is going on. We've developed a relationship good enough off the field to where it's bro, I just want what's best for you, and I'm gonna be there regardless. You know what I'm saying? So I've been vocal about that, with him, and like I said, we good friends. So. But we all, we want him here, and but however that situation plays out, that's how it plays out. And
all right, so I'll let you guys react to that because I do have a Siding Unlimited poll question that kind of ties to we don't know will they or won't they play for their team in Wisconsin sort of athletes here. But your thoughts on McKinney and his opinion about Jaire not being at voluntary OTAs?
I mean, it's refreshing to hear that him and McKinney, or Jaire that is, and McKinney are hanging out and talking regularly. We saw that video earlier this spring of them training together. Mm-hmm. So that's all promising, but I'm kind of feeling like until pen hits paper, I'm still kind of under the assumption they're doing everything they can to have trade value for him.
Well, I saw a quote from ESPN Milwaukee from Gabe Neitzel from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy where he basically asked the question, which is a fair one. I think we talked about it yesterday. If this contract is so good, then why hasn't he signed it? This is not a contract that's currently in front of him restructuring.
Since when do the Packers give anybody a so good contract?
They for sure
all they do is lowball.
100%.
Right.
But also, if he was getting other better options from other teams, he'd be gone, right?
Well, the Packers need to get the option. Here's the thing. If another team picks him up, they have to pay that 16 point whatever to Jaire next year.
And he has not gotten permission to speak to other teams, so he is not aware of any offers that are out there.
The Packers are the only ones that can shop him right now.
But also, I think this would go to, you asked the question yesterday, why would he, turn down his money? I would imagine it's the same reason why Devontae, he didn't turn down money, but he's like,
he wasn't even talked to.
I don't want to be here anymore. And so Jaire said, you know what? I'm going to bet on myself, and I'll take a pay cut, but I feel like I'm going to be healthy. I want to go somewhere I'm wanted, and then I'll sign a 1-year deal. Fine, if we don't want to do 8 million or 8 million with incentives, and then I'll ball out, and then I'll go get paid again because I'll be 29 years old at the end of next season.
Maybe. I just can't imagine a team is going to bank on him playing through multiple full seasons.
Again, 8 million is nothing, especially for like $4 million guaranteed.
I understand that that's not a lot, but like.
And I think Jim said yesterday, there's 23 corners in this league that get over 10 million a year.
And I would be willing to bet that most of them play a lot more games, probably twice the amount of games that Jaire does.
But then the balance is none of them are as talented as Jaire is when he plays. Matt, you have a stat about Jaire when he plays.
Yes, I do. I do have a stat. So, like, we question, is Jaire worth it and everything like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
When Jaire is not on the field, the Packers win at a 64% clip.
Okay.
When Jaire is on the field, the Packers win at a 74% clip.
So they're 10% better with him.
With him on the field. But when you think about in a season, 10% is like 2 wins. And 2 wins is making the playoffs or missing the playoffs sometimes.
Or seeding.
And seeding. Yeah. So, like, for a guy to make that big of an effect, and, like, I'm sure some of this is like, hey, we ran into the wrong teams at the wrong times. There's always a stat like that. But Jaire has missed enough games where you can get a pretty healthy number. I think there was like 35 games there, roughly 36 games that he's missed. He is worth it when he's on the field. When he's on the field, he could be a top 10 corner in the league.
Yeah, I'm not saying that he's not worth it. Like, I want him to be a Green Bay Packer.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I do want him back on the team. I just...
But also, like,
I don't know if he's going to be in as high of demand as, like, you guys think he's going to be outside of the Packers organization.
But if you're a team, but here's the thing: this is a 1-year deal, and you have the cap space. Why wouldn't you?
So,
like, especially
basically,
if the OTAs,
all the other teams, instead of paying 16, calling the Packers, saying you make the trade, and then paying Jaire 16, if they just wait for the Packers to cut Jaire, they can then say whatever contract they want. They can say, hey, how does 9 sound with incentives? And if you prove us wrong or prove how good you are, you're probably in line for a nice contract the year after.
So then question, Brian Gutekunst months ago, I believe that we listened to this audio yesterday, back at the owners' meetings in March in Florida, he basically said that they were open to trading him as long as they received a good enough package in return, right?
Correct.
So by Brian Gutekunst saying that, did that shoot the Packers in the foot, or was that a negative for Jaire? Because I feel like that was almost a negative for the Packers then, right?
It's a little bit of both. It kind of said to the league, we are, 1, willing to trade Jaire.
Yep.
And 2, saying we're not willing to get nothing for him. So the Packers are now in the sticky spot. We can keep Jaire and not cut him at all, but then we got to pay the guy. And if he's not playing, or if there's a reason we don't want him, like his lack of availability on game day, or this, that, or the other thing, whatever it may be, probably the availability thing, is that worth the $16 million we're going to end up paying him? Where if we just cut him, especially if they do it after June 1st, they get more cap for not this coming season, but the season after. Like, we're in okay cap space now, so technically Goody doesn't really... I think it's best for the Packers, if you're just going to cut him, to do it after June 1st and save the money for next year, because we still have money in the coffers for this season where we can still pick up a guy.
And again, the team that would pick him up would say, we have money available. Like Dallas could use a corner. The Rams could use a corner. Why not just get a guy? And take a fly? It's a flyer, but... At this point, most NFL teams, it's kind of funny money because it's like, well, it's a 1-year deal. We already have this money sitting here. Let's just, if you're a contending team, you might just say,
get a body.
Well, it's more than a body.
A good free body agents are available at this
It's more
point.
of a, we're going to buy a lottery ticket. And if that lottery ticket hits, and heck, even if he's healthy for the last 8 games of the year, the problem the Packers have is that they either have to reach what, I think it's a little bit, it's not fixed with the Packers. So I think they have to reach what Jaire wants contractually, which I think what he wants is similar to Elton Jenkins, where he wants more guaranteed money. And the Packers, I think, are going the other way. And so I think you can't have Jaire back on the current contract now because you've started the renegotiation process. If he does, and then, do you want Jaire around if he's unhappy with the contract? So when mandatory minicamp hits and he's there and you tell him to, why don't you just go sit down? What's that going to look like?
Yeah.
Because they're not going to want him out there.
Right.
And so, that's where it gets tricky. We can talk to Mark Tauscher about that next.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I think he'll sign, but I think this could get a little cantankerous.
I think it depends on this Jaire contract first, though. And they need to do something before June 6th or June 1st or something.
It's June 1st.
6th, just like a funny date.
Because they're all weird dates. It stuck on my head. That's my dad's birthday.
Happy birthday, Daddy.
Jaire has to be signed.
By my dad's birthday.
That's the way the league works.
Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
Get ready for the ultimate Saturday night at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Join us for the all-new Queen of Hearts drawing at 4, 6, 8, and 10 p.m. This is your chance for royal glory. When your name is drawn, choose the right card and you could win a life-changing jackpot, up to $150,000. The longer the Queen stays hidden, the bigger the jackpot grows. Let's Hard Rock with the Queen of Hearts only at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Memorial Day savings are here at Brothers Maine. Shop unbeatable deals on top brands like GE Appliances, Cafe, Hotpoint, and Monogram. Plus, enjoy expert support and free local delivery. Visit us today and feel like family at Brothers Maine.
The keys of a new Audi are in reach at Audi Madison. Save $3,000 on a new 2025. Choose from the A3 sedan, Q540, Q545, or the Q545 Sportsback, and even the Q755 SUV. National customer credit is good towards the purchase, finance, or lease of a new Audi, but is only available until June 2nd. Stop in and test drive today. Check out AudiMadison.com to see current inventory and specials. Start your adventure at Audi Madison today, off the Beltline and Rimrock Road.
Why is life better with American Family Insurance? Because every policy comes with something very special. A trusted agent who's there to help protect your dreams by finding the right coverage at the right price. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Swing into the Bridges for the Ryder Cup Scramble. On Sunday, June 1st, play a 2- or 4-person scramble for $120 per person. Includes 18 holes of golf with a cart, prizes, and dinner. Find more details at golfthebridges.com today.
In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you how to save money and save the planet. It's simple. Ditch your energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar. While electricity prices keep rising, Everlight Solar will give you the chance to take ownership of your power while also reducing your carbon footprint. As a local company based out of Madison, they'll be there with you every step of the way as you make the switch to solar. To learn more about how you can save money and save the planet, go to everlightsolar.com.
When it comes to your body, you want to trust a doctor, and you want to trust the experts. That's why the only place that you should consider going for GLP-1s and semaglutide is Carbon World Health in Madison, because they're run by Dr. Nestor Rodriguez. They have a workout facility and trainers to help you reach your goals, and they can help with dietary suggestions. The experts for semaglutide and GLP-1s are Carbon World Health. Learn more at carbonworldhealth.com.
Green Bay Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher on Jim, Matt, and Molly is brought to you by Chalmers Jewelers. Chalmers Jewelers, with locations in Middleton and downtown Madison.
I don't know if I'd agree with that, Jim Rutledge.
Green Bay Packers Hall of Famer
Matt Hamilton. Help me out. Who is that?
Wisconsin football analyst.
You know what? It feels like Molly's the only one that's being sincere about that. So, Molly, I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Mark Tauscher on Jim, Matt, and Molly is brought to you by Chalmers Jewelers. Chalmers Jewelers, with locations in Middleton and downtown Madison.
We are thrilled to be joined by Mark Tauscher here on Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. I'm Jim Rutledge alongside Molly Brown and Matt Hamilton. Primetime Lorishine with us in the Everlight Solar studio. You can see us on the ESPN Madison YouTube. You can stream with the ESPN Wisconsin app. And Mark, right before you joined the show, Matt Hamilton was reminiscing about the time we had Chris Jackie on the show back in the day, and he said that his mom had a major crush on Chris Jackie. So I want to ask you, who was the player that you played with that drew the most attention from women when you're out and about? Like who was the Packer? I can't imagine it was often the kicker, but I was just I was blown away that Chris Jackie was the crush, the Packers crush.
We got to take Favre and Rodgers out of this,
Kathy
though.
Hamilton,
right?
But I don't know. So, Mark, who comes to mind as the biggest heartthrob for the Packers when you played there?
Just wait a second. So Matt Hamilton's mom had a crush on Chris Jackie.
Yep.
Yes.
That's what we're saying.
Yep.
That's facts. She was a big fan of that curly mullet.
I would say Billy Lyons would be the guy that I would probably say, an old defensive lineman. That's who I would say probably. I was younger in my career. That's where I think all the ladies loved Billy Lyons.
Okay. Molly, you'll have to look up and give us your thoughts on.
Do you want me to get play-by-play of this guy? There's like 4 pictures
Molly,
of him. Hold on.
Molly, who is your, if you're, wherever you want to look at it.
Well,
NFL crush?
Funny you should ask this because we were actually talking about this earlier today, and we probably talk about this every single day. It probably annoys the guys. I am a major Justin Jefferson fan.
Okay.
Do you agree?
How about on the curve? How about non-Viking? How about a Packer?
Okay. Jordan Love.
Okay.
Jaire Alexander. Shall I keep going?
He's still on the team.
Yeah, why don't you get a segue there? Why don't you ask about your crush?
Yeah.
Okay, it's those eyes,
I'm
you
always
guys.
curious
Come
how
on.
you guys and gals come up with show topic ideas. Where did this one come from? Before we get, I guess. Well, you know what? I don't.
No, it was literally Matt was reminiscing of Matt loves to play games on the air, and he was reminiscing about a game we used to play where I would have a mystery guest on, and people would have to guess who it was, and he remembered one of them was Chris Jackie. Then he mentioned his mom had a crush on Chris Jackie, and then you were joining the show. I did a quick Google search. I see you guys did not overlap, but then I was like, well, I wonder who was that person for the Tauscher era Packers, and we got it. Some guy I never heard of, Billy Lyons. But
good name, though.
But Jaire Alexander, Elton Jenkins, they're not participating right now. This is voluntary. It's not a major story, but Mark, on either one of these, which one do you think is resolved quicker? Elton Jenkins' contract about moving guard to center, maybe wants some more guaranteed money, or Jaire, which sounds like he wants something done with his contract. Which one do you feel more confident happens?
That's a really good question. I mean, I think in the long run it will be Elton Jenkins. I don't know. We've been talking so much about Jaire Alexander, and the report yesterday that came out that he is going to report whether or not there's a contract. Well, no, I don't think he will, because the Packers are not going to want him to come in with a $16 million salary assigned to him until they get the contract worked out the way they want to. I don't think that's going to happen. So. I don't think Elton Jenkins will be coming in anytime until he gets a new deal. But if I had to pick who I feel most confident will be on the roster opening day, I think it'll be Elton Jenkins.
So, getting his with a new contract or with a new agreement made with the Packers, or no, just based on what he's already getting.
I mean, I think Elton Jenkins is going to get a new deal. I don't know how this plays out otherwise. I know that if Jaire Alexander comes back, it's going to be on a reduced incentivized contract. That I can feel very confident about. The Elton Jenkins situation is going to be really interesting because they made this move, and Elton Jenkins has been a really good player for a while. And we all know how Brian Gutekunst looks at players that are on the other side of 30 or getting older. It's been very few guys that he has decided to give that next contract to, but they've also decided to move him into a critical spot and kind of be the linchpin of this new offensive line. And I think they would love to just say, let's see how this year goes. But Elton Jenkins and his team are probably looking at it and saying, well, no, that's not how this is going to work. So who cracks first? I think it's going to be really interesting, but I think cooler heads will prevail. The Packers will do something to kind of, give some guarantees that give Elton Jenkins a little more security, and they'll both come to a conclusion that they need each other.
And like you guys said, I mean, the Packers do not want Jaire to step on this field if they're going to have to pay him $16 million if anything happens to him. I'm just I guess I think about Matt LaFleur. How difficult of a position does that put the head coach in if he obviously wants to get this team better? He wants to get this team prepared. He wants this team to start working together. How difficult is it for him to want that, but then it's like he also probably has the front office saying, hey, if there's not a deal in place, you do not let this guy step foot on the field. You know what I mean? Like, how difficult of a spot is that for Matt LaFleur?
Yeah, I think it's easy for Matt because that's not in his purview. Matt LaFleur, Brian Gutekunst drafts and acquires the players, and Matt LaFleur, it's his job when they're there to go play. So Matt LaFleur can just be the good cop. He'd be like, man, I'd give you all the money in the world. That's just not my job. Man, we love you. We want you back here. And obviously they're going to be working as a team, both the front office and Matt. But Matt LaFleur can just kind of play the game as if it's the players that are here I am going to work with, and we're going to find roles that are going to help us win games. And all of the money, and you saw that a little bit today with some of the things, Jaden Reed, I think the questions that Matt LaFleur answered. I don't know. I'm sure Matt LaFleur has a general idea of what's going on, but he can just sit there and say, well, I don't know, because that's not where his focus is. His focus is going to be on, getting the offense right and getting everything dialed up. And off the field, the contract, the business side of it, you obviously have a general idea of what's going on, but you can kind of wash your hands of it and say, well, that's not my deal. And the players, whether or not they want to believe it or not, that's, I guess, how that relationship will work.
So, Mark, in your expert opinion, are the Packers more likely to cut, trade, or keep Jaire at this point with the information you know?
Yeah, they're not going to trade him. I think that ship has sailed. I think at some point he's going to be back on this team, and he's going to be on a heavily incentivized contract where, listen, the Packers will have no problem in the end paying him what he was owed this year if he plays. Unfortunately for him, he has played in, I think the stat was half in the last 4 years. He's missed half the games and he's played in the other half. So they're not going to just say, here's your money. Oh, if you can play, great. It's going to be more of, all right, we'll throw you this. This will be kind of your base. And everything, the Packers love those in-game bonuses when you're active and you're playing. You earn that back, and then if you get, a certain amount of interceptions, and if he ends up playing 16 or 17 games and is the guy that we've seen in the past, Green Bay will be more than happy to pay him the $16 million. It's just right now you can't count on that. So to answer your question, Matt, I would say very likely that they work out a deal, probably a lot more Packer friendly than Jaire, with the opportunity for Jaire to earn a lot of that money back. Very similar to what happened with Mason Crosby way back in the day when he had kind of an off year, and they gave him an opportunity to earn it back. And to Mason's credit, he was able to do that.
Mark, we know you're on a time crunch. Thank you so much for your time today.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right. That's Mark Tauscher, brought to you by Chalmers Jewelers in Madison and in Middleton. I got a joke here for you guys from Dad Jokes. I asked my wife what she wanted for her birthday. She replied, nothing would make me happier than a diamond necklace. So I bought her nothing. I would not recommend that. I would instead recommend going to Chalmers Jewelers in Madison or in Middleton. Madison's custom and Madison's family-owned jeweler. Now get out of here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I forgot.
Get out.
My favorite part of the show.
This is presented by North and South Sea from the Smokehouse, Minute to Win It. And obviously 3 great locations in the Madison area. And Ryan, why don't you go ahead and reveal now what the list is?
How is it that they forget that we're doing Minute to Win It when they literally spent 20 minutes trying to pick my brain, figure out what it was today?
30 minutes show prep, 20 minutes was trying to guess.
Yes, exactly. So, and speaking of which, it's funny that you tried to pick my brain because I didn't come to the show with anything today. Until during segment 1, Matt Hamilton's starting to read through the top batting average leaders for the Brewers.
Yeah.
We got to test that recall, don't we, Jim?
Okay.
All right, top 10 batting average leaders for the Brewers this season. And this is we'll do coming into today. I believe that's what the stats I pulled up here. That's up to today's game.
Okay.
So what do we want to set the over-under at?
So Molly's going to be terrible at that.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
5.5 or 6.5?
I would do 5.5.
All right.
But I'm too easy on him.
I'm going to go 5.5 because, again, with the recall stuff, I'm actually harder because, if you're looking at it, you should know it.
Yeah,
and there's a chance that he's out there and he's just going to lean into it.
That's
and
true.
he could be looking at
and
it.
Matt,
during the break.
honestly, I do think Matt studies the Brewers a lot just for a minute to win it.
I think he's a box score guy.
He is.
And so he likes to open up the ESPN app and see the box score, and those stats are right there. All right, so caller number 5 then, since it's
we need 2 callers.
Oh yeah, caller number 5 and 6. What do you want to do? I have a 5.5. That's why I was thinking 5
Let's
and
do
6.
5 and 6. Perfect.
All right, caller number 5, caller number 6. You're at least going to get a $25 gift card to North and South Seafood and Smokehouse. It might even be a $50 gift card to North and South Seafood and Smokehouse. 844-770-3776. That's the Carbo Stock and Text line. 844-770-3776. Caller number 5 and caller number 6. You're at least going to get a $25 gift card to North and South Seafood and Smokehouse. It might even be $50 if you pick the right over-under. And we're going on top 10 batting average leaders for the Milwaukee Brewers coming into today. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly.
It's like dogs. Like you get like the snickerdoodle or all these. Like you're trying to build a
Snickerdoodle?
Is that a real dog?
No, it's like a golden doodle.
Golden
It's a cookie.
doodle. Golden doodle.
Like a
Sorry.
snickerdoodle. Half poodle, half Snickers bar.
I'm sure. Golden doodle. I don't know. This breeding dogs thing is dumb.
Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube. Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by Starion Bank with 3 Madison area locations in Middleton, Sun Prairie, and Monona. Starion Bank is here investing in your community. Start your experience at starionbank.com. Member FDIC.
In for Pablo Iglesias, I'm Jesse Nelson, ranking all 136 FBS quarterback situations into tiers ahead of the 2025 season. That's the title of an article by ESPN college football writer David Hale. Tier 1, top of the class. No Wisconsin there, and in fact, they're not listed in tiers 2 through 14 either. All the way down in tier 15, categorized as We Used to Be Somebody, is where we find the Badgers with starter Billy Edwards Jr. and backup Danny O'Neal. Check out the full article at ESPN.com.
Don't wait to upgrade your windows and doors, because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Hey, Matt Hamilton here to tell you about the delicious Odyssey Brands, a family-owned company crafting award-winning cheese right here in Wisconsin for over 4 generations. Made with locally sourced milk, Odyssey brings bold, Greek-style flavors straight to your table. From savory, crumbly feta to rich and creamy Greek yogurt, every bite is a taste of tradition and quality. You can find Odyssey products at most major retailers nationwide and online. Odyssey, crafted in Wisconsin, loved everywhere, dairy done right.
Hi, this is Lee, inviting you to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. We got a great happy hour every day of the week from 4 o'clock to 7, and our patio during the summer is open too. If you're getting married, special occasion, a birthday, anniversary, or even a business meeting, we've got all the accommodations right here at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. You work hard and sometimes you're not sure what you want to do, where you want to spend your money. I want to encourage you to come into Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and say hello. It'd be a pleasure to meet you.
After a storm, even seemingly small damage can lead to major problems. If your roof or siding took a hit with this recent storm, your insurance may cover the damage, but the process is still a nightmare. Badgerland Exteriors makes it seamless. They'll guide you through every step and get your family's home back in tip-top shape just as fast as that storm ripped through.
Contracting made easy is more than a tagline. It's how we run our family business. Visit BadgerlandExteriors.com to get started on your next project. That's BadgerlandExteriors.com.
Live the high life and get into the nitty-gritty, home of the award-winning Gritty Burger and Madison's official birthday place. Enjoy a full menu including sandwiches, specialty burgers, wraps, salads, and weekend brunch. With the family-friendly environment, it's a great place to watch the big game. Plus, they've got Miller High Life Power Hour specials daily. Located in downtown Madison, Middleton, and Sun Prairie. The nitty-gritty, a tradition since 1968. Also enjoy high life at Bar Coralini, Paradise Lounge, and Jordan's Big Ten Pub.
Looking to transform your home with stylish furniture and home accessories without breaking the bank? At your local IKEA in Oak Creek, they believe everyone deserves a beautiful and affordable living experience that enhances your everyday life. From comfortable and fashionable sofas and sectionals, to kitchens full of inspiration, to bedrooms designed to help you find your best sleep and relaxation, IKEA's home furnishing combines form and function to fit any lifestyle and budget. Visit IKEA Oak Creek today or explore their collection online at ikea.com/US.
Panic strikes as you realize on Wednesday that Thursday is your anniversary. The reservations being secured.
We'll see you at 8.
The gift being purchased. Yeah, you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with early pay up to 2 days early on direct deposits. So even though they call you Last Minute Lisa, we'll make your last minute scrambling a bit easier. You've got this with early pay from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
The 2015 Wisconsin men's hoops team gave us all a march to remember.
There will be no undefeated champion on Wisconsin with an unbelievable stretch drive to the championship game.
On June 26th, enjoy an intimate celebration with the stars of the run with Made 'em Believe. Presented by M3 Insurance. World-class expertise and individual attention. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
You're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. Jim Rutledge here. What is a better buying experience? Well, that's the thing. You get to define it. It is the experience that is customized to you. What experience do you want at a car dealership? They can be your trusted friend or your trusted expert. So if you're in the market for a new or new to you Silverado, Colorado, Blazer, Trailblazer, remember, you're only minutes away from a better buying experience. And that's at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
This is high on Magnolia Rutledge's playlist now on her ride to school. So we roll up to the elementary school in Oregon with this bumping out of my, not Range Rover, in my big blue truck from Simon Chevy in Mount Horeb. I'm Jim Rutledge alongside Molly Brown and Matt Hamilton. Primetime or Shine Behind the Glass. We are presented by Coors Light. And you can see us on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream. And you can stream us with the ESPN Wisconsin app. And it's time for Matt and Molly's favorite segment of the week. Minute to Win It.
Will they beat the odds?
I say everything with pure confidence, whether I think I'm totally right or not.
Or crumble under pressure?
I legitimately know one of these. I legitimately have one.
This is the Minute to Win It, presented by North and South Seafood and Smokehouse, with 3 locations in Madison, DeForest, and Verona.
So, Matt, Molly, I was telling Jim and the listeners just right after you left the studio, actually, that you spent about 20 minutes trying to pick my brain to figure out what the Minute to Win It category would be today. And I'll be honest, guys, while you were asking me, I had no clue at the time.
That mind is a steel trap.
I knew he didn't because he's not prepared.
When there's nothing in there, you can't find out, right, Matt? There's no steel trap when there's no trap on the inside.
There's no bait.
Nope, there sure wasn't. But, Matt, I took the bait because I listened to the first segment, and I know you ran through all the batting average leaders for the Brewers when we were talking about the team.
You're on your own. You are on your own.
The top 10 batting average leaders for the Brewers coming into today's game. That's when these stats were last updated. So your guys' timer starts now.
Rhys Hoskins.
Rhys Hoskins is number 2 on the list.
Sal Frelick.
Sal Frelick is number 1 on the list.
Your rookie. What's his name? What's his name? What?
Can we talk? Can I tell her?
No.
The name is Caleb Durbin. So you're thinking.
Okay, Caleb Durbin.
Oh, that one's wrong.
I believe he's just outside the top 10.
He's just outside the top 10.
You said I thought he was 2.
Oh no, Hoskins is 2.
Okay.
Contreras
is in the top 10. And actually, guys, I looked at it again. Caleb Durbin's in the top 10.
There you go.
Oh, shout out. There's no way that Christian Yelich, right? But he sucks.
Do it.
Christian Yelich.
He's in the top 10.
He's just going to be top 10 of the Brewers.
Shout out to last night. That's not what I meant. Okay, go.
Whoa.
I know.
Grand Slam.
All right, I know it's
the Grand
not
Salami.
Joey Ortiz.
That's what they call it.
Freddie Peralta? No. Pitchers don't.
Freddie Peralta?
You guys, come on. I'm just listing names here. I can't believe you did baseball.
See that.
Keep going. I think we've crushed it already, though. You get a guess.
1 at the buzzer.
At the buzzer, let's go with
3.
Come
2,
on.
1.
Just say a name.
I can't think of
Say a name.
I'm blanking.
Say one name.
He doesn't know any names.
It's
He
passed.
doesn't know any names.
It's passed, which is too
Wait,
bad.
can I say one? No, he's not on the team anymore.
All right, you're done.
Wait, who are you going to say? Wait. Who are you going to say? Are you going to say Willie Adames?
Oh, man.
I set the right line.
ESPN Madison is your home for Brewers baseball.
I set
okay,
the
there's
right
some
line.
ones.
I set it at 5.5. You got 5.
Dang, we're pretty good.
How did neither of you say Jackson Churio?
Oh, I forgot about him. I thought he got traded, according to Homer.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
Once Caleb Durden was cleared, you should have been able to list
Durbin.
Durbin because
I totally blanked on Terang.
This is Matt's fault.
What
This
is
is
he
Matt's fault.
What is his batting average coming into today?
Caleb Durbin coming into
200.
today is 210.
Yeah. That's trash. So, like, if that's on the list, you should be able to list
Oh, I
off
thought
a
if
lot
Christian
of players.
Yelich is on the list, like, that's trash.
211.
Wow. This is Matt's fault because he's the one that claims to be a Brewers fan.
Yep.
He studies the Brewers. He listens to the Brewers. He watches the Brewers.
I would
he
say
is
study.
the Brewers
hold
fan.
on.
I listen to the Brewers.
Matt
I don't
listens
study.
to the Brewers when he's driving into work
And away from work.
on the way home from work, and he likes to look at box scores.
And he studies those box scores on Wednesdays.
And, like, to match
specifically.
the defense,
does.
if you're going to be a box score watcher, the only sport it works in is baseball.
Okay.
Like, you can't just gleam a box score for basketball.
That's because they give you so many good stats in baseball, and
That's
since
because
everything
they-
starts from like a neutral spot, unlike basketball where you can bring it up at a different
Well, no,
pace.
it's more baseball's math. Like that's
Yeah,
why it
That's
works.
probably why I don't like baseball.
Baseball is it's that's
Take
why
that for
WAR. That's
that.
why I have all those advanced analytics. All the other sports involve far more. I don't know.
It's a
just
lot
like,
of continuous stats. It's hard to track the stuff that's
but
going
also
on.
like there's a will. More
I should have
in
got
those other
Churio, and I
sports.
should have had
We
Terang.
both should have gotten Cheerio.
Terang was a mistake.
Churio, not Cheerio, please.
Cheerio.
Cheerio.
All right.
Jackson Cheerio.
So you guys got Sal Frelick, Reese Hoskins. You didn't say Bryce Terang. You also didn't say Isaac Collins.
I've never heard that name before.
He is a bit of a creative character. Jake Bowers, who hit a home run today as well.
He was walked today too.
Collins or Bowers?
Bowers
I did hear
intentionally
the-
walked.
Big. Rake Bowers, they call
Is
him.
he the one that gets hit with the ball?
What? He gets hit with the
I don't
ball.
know.
There's some Brewers, but I listened to it on the broadcast today. Somebody has gotten hit. I think it was Brewers.
Like
game.
hit by a pitch.
Yeah, like
at the
I
plate.
think, I think that's what they're talking about.
Like more
It
than
said like
once
he's been
this
hit
year?
like a lot of times this year. That it takes like skill or something is
Now-
what they were saying.
Now I'm thinking of
like I'm not kidding.
like
I'm not
great
kidding.
out-
I heard this.
Well, of course the broadcast would be like anything is like that takes a lot of skill.
William Contreras has walked 35 times this year.
And Contreras, you know what? His brother was a guy that got hit a lot. Wilson Contreras. I could see the Contreras family having that trade
gene.
secret. Yeah,
That
like,
gene.
He's
which
got
is
that
like-
dog in him.
that a-hole gene where it's like you're sticking your body
God,
in
why
the
would
way.
you want to though? That's my thing.
Free base.
Get on
I,
base.
okay, I understand. I know that, but like, why?
Because you're
Can you
not.
imagine the bruises?
Well, they're already a catcher.
35?
I can't imagine that. Like Wilson Contreras fell off a cliff. I don't know what he's doing this year, but catchers they just go because imagine having to like squat for 9 innings, 162 games a year.
They're also
your
just
knees
used,
are garbage.
They're used to eating balls off the chest protector too. Like they're probably the strongest guys on the team.
Was that on purpose?
Eating balls
Why
off the
did you
chest
say
protector.
it like that?
That's what they
Used
do.
to getting hit in the chest protector.
No, they just eat balls. They eat balls for a living. So,
And-
guys, you also didn't
and loose
get
peanuts.
And Eric Haas was the last guy you were looking for. you got Christian Yelich and Caleb Durbin, William Contreras as well.
Matt, this is your fault.
I'm sorry.
Study
Molly.
more.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, if anything, this is props to Jim for knowing how to
Jim is good
give
at
us the
this.
line. Yeah, he's like, Matt, I know has been watching. Normally, I'd probably say 3.5 for the Brewers. But
And-
Matt's
and-
been paying a little bit more attention than usual.
And to be fair, I initially thought 6.5, but then I figured Molly's gonna do nothing for you, which was basically.
Did
right.
I got
Molly? Yeah, you got Reese and you got
Durbin.
That was thanks to Matt. I got
Well,
1.5.
and Reese is like, all right. We talked earlier that
Yeah.
you said he was their second best hitter. Yeah, before.
That's
so they're
where the
both.
number 2 came
Yeah.
in. Yep.
Yeah, he thought it was Durbin, and then he said no, and you were so upset with me.
How the
The
Brewers?
look of like disappointment that
Yeah.
Molly gave me, I could just imagine what her kids act like.
Fair. And you should see the look my husband's get. My husband.
Whoa,
Are you talking about me and Jim too?
Polly Molly.
How's Justin Jefferson doing?
JJ and
Wow,
Poinette
funny you
chimes
should
in.
Not in Minnesota, Molly. Take it easy.
The reason baseball.
JJ and Poinette.
The reason baseball is such a stat sport is because the sample sizes are so big that accurate conclusions can be drawn from the data.
Okay.
Yeah,
That
and
makes
also
sense.
like it's empirical. It's year over year. It's forever. So yeah. Also, David Deerfield says, "Naughty Molly." That's about that time. This is Jim and Molly presented by Coors Light.
Savage.
Cheesy Bites Pizza is back at Pizza Hut. For only $13.99, you get a large pizza with 28 pullable, poppable, cheese-filled bites. Plus, it comes with Pizza Hut's very own Ranch Lovers Flight, featuring 3 bold dips: Ultimate Ranch, Chipotle Ranch, and Pepperoni Ranch. 1 large pizza, 3 dips, endless flavor. Ready to dip into deliciousness? Well, hurry. It's only available for a limited time. Head to a Pizza Hut location or order online at pizzahut.com today. Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
This is Derek Engler. You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good afternoon, Madison. I'm Ryan Wollersheim, and this is your Sports and Update brought to you by Ridgetop Exteriors, Wisconsin's premier roofing, siding, and window contractor since 2002. Visit them at ridgetopexteriors.com. Well, the Milwaukee Brewers getting their first sweep of the season, yes, as they closed the deal against the Red Sox earlier today in extra innings, winning 6-5 thanks to a Caleb Durbin walk-off sac fly in the bottom of the 10th inning. Brewers ending up winning 6-5, getting their first series sweep of the year. Then I'll have the day off before taking on the Phillies this Friday afternoon, 5:45 p.m. first pitch. Going to be an early edition of shorter edition of Jim, Matt, and Molly that day right here on 100.5 ESPN, which is your home for Milwaukee Brewers baseball. Then going on up at Lambeau Field, the Green Bay Packers in day 2 of OTAs. Xavier McKinney heard speaking about Jaire Alexander's status earlier today. Head over to ESPN.com for more news, notes, and updates from Packers reporter Rob Demovsky. All Packers offseason, including the rest of OTAs. Jaire Alexander expected to attend mandatory minicamp later this month. Jim, Matt, and Molly, Hour 2, starting right now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
You gotta keep your chill with Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I am savage.
So you're not special.
Jim, if we want to play this game, we can play this game.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's going to swing on Jim. He's a complicated fellow.
People like me.
I don't think so.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
3-1. Popped him up into center field. Backing up is Rafaela. Still going back. This ball is carrying. This is going to end the game, I think. Rafaela the catch. Tagging from third. Frelick. Throw home is late. Brewers have done it 2 days in a row. Walk-off winners in the 10th inning. Caleb Durbin, first walk-off RBI. A sac fly wins the ball game.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison. Alongside Matt Hamilton and Molly Brown, here's Jim Rutledge.
It is hour number 2 of Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are presented by Coors Light. The mountains are blue. You know what to do.
And that's crush a Coors Light.
I am Jim Rutledge. I have the power in the Everlight Solar Studio. You can see us on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream. You can stream us with the ESPN Wisconsin app. Matt Hamilton, Molly Brown, Primetime Laura Shine behind the glass. We have a poll question up, a Siding Unlimited poll question at ESPN Madison. You can chime in on the Carbos Talking text line 844-770-3776. And where did it go? I swear it was up earlier. Here it is. Will the Brewers be sellers at the trade deadline? Asking that question because they've won 4 in a row, which put them in tied for 4th place right now.
They're currently in 3rd place, half a game ahead of the Reds.
We'll see what
The Reds
happens.
win tonight, then they're tied for 3rd place, though.
/4th, because they both are.
I guess, right? But
Glass half full.
You say
half
tied for 3rd.
I say tied for 4th.
Really?
Yeah.
If the Cubs were in that spot, you'd say tied for 4th?
Yeah, because you stink. Like, you're terrible. Like, I mean, you're, 2 games above 500? Maybe the Brewers will get better, but I'm sorry. Christian Yelich at 211 was a top 10 batting average player for the Brewers.
He's got a 6-game hitting streak. He's hot.
Still
this guy's on fire.
He got on fire to get to 211.
Yeah.
So it's even a little stinky. They're maybe shaking off some of the stink, but they were stinky for most of May.
It's called dieting heading into the summer.
Right? Maybe June will turn the corner for them, but they were kind of stinky in May. What's the number? 7 shutouts in May?
It was more than that, I believe.
Okay.
That was like last week.
Yeah, we'd have to go back and crunch the numbers.
7 shutouts last week. Yeesh. Now, will the Brewers be buyers or sellers at the trade deadline? Right now, 54% of you say they're going to stay put or be buyers, which it's insane. They're not. They're never buyers. So stay put maybe, but honestly, if they stay put, that's like a sin. Because if they are a team that, let's say, stays put in their standings where they're 2 games above 500 at the All-Star break or at the trade deadline, you should trade players because you're going to do bupkis at least when the playoffs roll around, and it's more important for the Brewers to move a guy like Rhys Hoskins to get some players than it is to ride out a season where you are ended up 3 or 4 games above 500, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Brewers' way. If you're doing well, sell. If you're doing bad, sell.
Little alliteration there. Yeah, that is true. That is the Brewers' way. So, also talks to Green Bay Packers today and about Jaire Alexander. I don't know what's going to happen with him. I do not think it's a slam dunk he's going to be back on the Packers. I do think there's going to have to be some bending of will as far as the Packers and Jaire accepting the contract the Packers want to give him. And then you also have to deal with, is Jaire going to be happy with it? But I want to ask this question because there's news out there about Giannis that's leaking out every single day. And we actually can hear from our friends on Unsportsmanlike 2 differing takes. We'll get to those in a minute. But I do want to ask this question, and that is, who's more likely to play for their respective team next season, Giannis or Jaire?
And Tauscher said, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, never mind. That wasn't the question. I was thinking that we were talking about the Elton Jenkins one. Sorry.
I was like, when did Tauscher?
Tauscher should not talk about Giannis.
I just check out for the interview. 844-770-3776. It's the Carbons Talking text line. List is more.
That's a tricky one. Like, the Bucks obviously want Giannis back. I cannot say the same for the Packers and Jaire. I cannot say with
they
straight
want him
face
back at
that
a specific.
Right.
Yep.
So.
But do the Bucks want Giannis back, or do they realize, hey, we're not winning a championship when Giannis is on our team?
I think they still
want him back. The Bucks want, at the very worst, they want everyone to think they want Giannis back because they don't want to be the bad guy who says we want him out.
I understand, but that doesn't mean that they want him back. They just don't want to look like the bad guys. Doesn't mean that they want him back.
That's true. I think they
still want him back. I think if you're John Horst, you just got more job security if he's around. You trade him, things could go bad. Also, this team
he just got a contract.
Who? Horst?
Didn't Horst just?
Yes, I think he has job security for
like
a year
or two. Like you can move off these guys. Like how many coaches are the Bucks paying?
But also
3 currently.
3, but it also could look bad for John Horst as well if he keeps Giannis and then they continue to not do anything.
Yeah, I just think if he sells ownership on like, hey, we're going to do a gap year and then we're going to make a run with Giannis, and if Giannis plays that out, I don't see how that works though. The gap year problem, because like who's coming here as a free agent if there's no guarantee Giannis is going to be here past this upcoming season? So then everything has to be done as via trade.
Right.
I guess you could bring in like Chris Paul for a year.
But is that enough? Like we tried the aging star route in Dame, and I'm not going to say I'm not blaming Dame for anything, but these older guys get injured. Like that's what we got off Middleton for.
Yep.
Like bringing in a guy like Chris Paul just doesn't make sense to me.
But that's what they're going to kind of have to do
if they don't unload.
Yes.
Because anyway, long story short, I think it's Giannis mostly because I don't think the Packers, if they don't get what they need done with Jaire, they're just going to cut him. And if Jaire does not accept the contract that the Packers are like, this is the absolute most we're willing to offer you, and Jaire's like, no, then they'll just cut him.
Yeah. Interesting, because I actually feel opposite, because I feel like the Jaire piece is a lot easier to figure out than figuring out what the heck you're going to do with Giannis on your team. Like, I understand that he is a superstar. I understand that he is a fan favorite. I understand he is your entire franchise, Giannis.
Yeah, but if he's on the team, you limp into the playoffs, and then you get bounced.
Do you? You're not going to have Giannis, or you're not going to have Dame next year.
Yeah, but Giannis is good enough to carry a team. He's done it time and time again.
I mean, he's always had some supporting piece.
When they've had success and made a run, they've had supporting pieces, but a lot of other times, Giannis is carrying the load. Like Middleton, his last year, he was only played like half the season.
Middleton? Yeah, I mean, Giannis.
And he was supposed to be the two.
The problem.
But you also had Dame for a good chunk of the season.
Yeah.
So it's like you always had a second guy. If, like, next year, who is the second guy after Giannis?
Well, it's
Green?
Who
is it?
It's not even a second guy problem. Their second, like, the rest of the roster is
We
bottom.
need a deeper bench.
Brooke Lopez is probably going to be gone.
Well, he
so
sucks
you lose
anyways.
that. He does not.
Oh, God. Yeah, 37-year-old Brooke
He's
Lopez.
getting older, yes, but he doesn't.
37? He can't defend.
I'm not saying that he's like who I want on my team.
Thank God Brooke Lopez is leaving this team.
That's a bad take.
No.
He's a good player. He's
It's
just old.
It's the take the Bucks have. The Bucks have no interest in signing him.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm not saying he's coming back, but I'm just saying you're losing him. Okay, so you got to replace that.
Probably lose Bobby.
Bobby, Pat Connaughton doesn't even barely plays.
miss-
AJ Green.
I miss none. Green is worth it bringing back because of being expensive. I don't want Bobby back for what he's going to cost. I don't want Brooke back for what he's going to cost.
Okay, and are you going to be able to fill those spots with good enough players, or are you just going to fill them with meh?
They need to fill in with players that fit this roster better. Like Doc's coaching a team. Bobby Portis doesn't play defense. Brooke Lopez can't play defense.
Yeah, their defense has been trashed since Drew Holiday left.
Dame can't play defense. AJ
Brooke is only viable when he gets to just play.
And that was
goal
years.
ball.
That was years ago. He's 37, and he was only viable in one defense, and that was Budenholzer's drop defense, and that's it. As a defensive player, he's 37. He's going to make too much money. He gets 13 points.
Okay,
a game.
so who are the Bucks going to be able to bring in affordably?
You're going to have to
that
find
can get them to the playoffs.
Well, this is where you go with a GM who knows what they're doing. You can find players and some, like for an example, Tyrese Halliburton. Like, he was an afterthought in the draft. He slipped to the Kings, and then the Kings were willing to give him away for Sabonis. So you have to rely on your GM to pull off. You don't have to get Tyrese Halliburton, but there are players out there that, one, will fit your system better than these players. You can bring in equivalent players to Bobby and Brooke specifically, and then and Green, I think, will be back, but he can't defend either, but that fit around Giannis better.
They did try to do that during the season this year.
It didn't work.
No.
Like if I'm the Bucks, I'm calling the Kings. DeMar DeRozan, they're trying to get rid of him. Can I give you Kuzma and God knows what? But Kuzma, like his contract's descending, so maybe he's worthwhile as a descending contract player.
He's still getting paid like $20 million.
But it's going down. That's $20 million is nothing for a guy like. I mean, Kuzma's a starter. $20 million is not bad.
I mean, for I don't know.
I mean, the same
Cash-strapped
Kuzma
Milwaukee
that gave
Bucks.
us a goose egg across the board.
Still, Kyle
in a NBA game.
Kyle Kuzma's contract is valuable.
Okay,
that's why the Bucks
He's
wanted it
more of
because
a
it's
trade
descending.
asset.
Yes,
he's also more of a trade asset. We could get a young up and coming player potentially.
Yes, and so you're trying to figure out. But I don't know if the Bucks. It depends what the Bucks are trying to do.
I mean, you still have the carrot of Giannis is here, and honestly, I think going into
Nobody's
next season,
signing here
there's
for
a
that.
good chance. Well, no, there's
like Miles Turner. I don't see why he would come here. That's a name people float out there. Why would he come here if there's no, like, on a 4-year deal, if there's no guarantee Giannis is going to be here past a year?
I just don't feel like Giannis isn't going to come back for 1 year for his
Giannis
gap
is
year
not
and then
making
just
it to
let
it.
him go. It's either going to be Giannis is signing in.
I don't think so.
No, that is not happening.
You don't think Giannis?
No.
Isn't the rest of his
What are
contract
the
like 2
Bucks
more years?
possibly going
right?
to tell? Yeah, it's 2 more years. What are the Bucks possibly going to tell Giannis to keep him then?
They're going to say, "Hey, let me put together a roster this year, and let's see how it looks, and now we can go into the following offseason with some money, and then we'll build a team around you." But Giannis doesn't have to sign anything.
So that right there, that's 2 years that you're essentially saying.
This offseason, they have to convince him to look into next offseason.
And then next offseason, they're like, now we actually have ways to get players. So if
And they're gonna have
anything,
to
it's a
either-
harder sell this year saying, hey, wait till next year. So, like, if he buys in this year, he's buying in that you're going to rebuild the team.
If I'm Miles Turner, I'm not committing to live in Milwaukee and play for the Bucks.
I mean, it's almost basically what you're saying is we've got Giannis for 2 more years.
If I'm an NBA free agent, I'm not assuming Giannis is going to be here past his contract, which is 2 years.
Correct.
So I'm
Right.
not signing here anything long term.
Unless
that.
you think you can get it done with Giannis.
But I'm not making that bet.
So Shams was on the Pat McAfee show yesterday. They asked him a little bit about what the rationale would be for why Giannis would want to stay with the team. Here's what he had to say.
But the Bucks are operating as if, listen, loyalty's going to win out. We're going to have Giannis there. He's been there for 12 years. You know, a player like that, loyalty means a lot. Equity means a lot. And so the Bucks are banking on that. They're banking on a gap year, essentially, where they're going to be able to retool around Giannis.
Oh, they're going to guilt trip him. Love that.
Sounds like it. It's going to be something of a gap year because they only have one first-round pick they can trade. They lack the high-level tradable contract. So if you want to go make your team better, John Horst, their general manager, what he's done, he's gone out and gotten Drew Holiday in 2020 when Giannis' future was up in the air. He went out and got Damian Lillard in 2023 when Giannis' future was in the air. This year, he doesn't really have that same bandwidth to go make moves. And so it's going to come down to loyalty.
I love that they laughed at the idea of a gap year because how do you take that seriously?
How do you
gap year is
pitch a guy
ridiculous.
like Giannis on a gap year, and then we'll be back. Like
For somebody that wants multiple championships, for somebody whose brother has come out into the public and said Giannis loses sleep over not getting multiple championships, like that is ridiculous.
And the gap year thing is, I think Steph Curry in theory took it, but also Steph had a team that was built better.
Steph Curry also had Steve Kerr.
And they had a top.
Let's not forget.
I think they had the second overall pick in that gap year too in the NBA draft. So they were able to tank for the one season and get actual assets to build their team with. But the Bucks, Matt, when do they control their next first-round pick?
2031.
Giannis can sign in the summer of 2026. So if I'm a free agent, I'm taking nothing serious until Giannis signs an extension in the summer of 2026. I mean, if I'm maybe the Bucks get Miles Turner, which is not going to happen, but a guy like that who's a more premier free agent, there's not a lot of great free agents to begin with, so they're going to have to make trades. They don't have assets to make trades. Like, this is the problem. You're relying on John Horst to build a roster that's just filled with role players who fit a role around Giannis. And then you're relying on Doc to coach the hell out of that team.
And then relying on those role players to step up when they need to.
Right, but none of those things make any sense. Like,
no, I totally agree.
Because Doc is he's not an X's and O's, I'm going to coach the hell out of a team guy. He is, give me superstars, I'll manage egos, and I'll keep everyone happy guy.
Does he keep everybody happy?
Apparently him and Giannis are tight.
Giannis was also tight with Adrian Griffin, and then
for a minute.
Then what?
Yeah, it's just a little different when Doc's got the pelts on the wall. Like, he's a Hall of Famer. And so I think there's more of a respect there for... I mean, I'm not just saying, I don't know if it's Giannis or Shams or whomever, but there's multiple reports out there that say one of the biggest reasons Giannis would stay is because of Doc. So...
He's been known to get along with players really well. He's been good at managing players more
Yes, he's not an X's and O's coach.
Which is kind of what they need, though, if they're going to be able to win.
Either way, if they trade Giannis, Doc is pointless. In a perfect world, what you do is you elevate Doc above Horst, like president of basketball operations. You pay him a salary. Horst is then working with Doc to build out a roster. Giannis is still happy because Doc is still here. And then you go get a guy who can coach the hell. You go find the next Tom Thibodeau. When he came from the Celtics as an assistant coach on their championship team, went to the Bulls. So find the guy who's the great assistant on one of those teams that can be the brains behind the operation. Every one of these teams, I'm sure OKC's got an assistant coach that's the brains behind the operations. I know their head coach is really smart. Minnesota,
and their GM is great.
Yeah, but I mean, but the way Minnesota and the way Oklahoma City plays defense is elite. Like, they are viewed as a very well-coached team.
And because they're extremely deep and young, athletic players.
Right, well, obviously that's part of it, but they're respected as a team that is coached well.
They get the best out of their players,
yes.
too.
Who's Rick Carlisle's lead assistant? I don't know the answer on that. Who's Tom Thibodeau's lead assistant? Like, these teams in the NBA or the conference finals, who are their lead assistants? And you go get them. They're usually less expensive, but then also they're the ones that can coach the hell out of a team. That's the only way you can really make it work. We're going to throw some stones next. It's Jim, Matt, and Molly.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly.
Come on, Matt. You're the fantasy football guy.
Yeah. I know, but we're pretty far removed from fantasy last year.
And honestly, you're into tight ends.
Oh.
I knew how that was going to sound before I said it, but I didn't mean it like...
Okay.
Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
Siding Unlimited recently installed 20 brand new amazing energy efficient windows. Our Siding Unlimited crew removed the old windows, inspected the wall for wood rot, installed the new beautiful windows, and cleaned up behind ourselves. It was easy to get started. The homeowner met us at our amazing showroom on 2018 South Stoughton Road in Madison. Trust me, our showroom is a must-see. Looking for new windows, siding, roofing, and doors? Visit us at sidingunlimited.com or stop by our beautiful showroom in Madison.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Hey, it's Riley Yauk. Stay in the know on area high school sports and follow ESPN Madison on social media for Prep Mania on Deck, each week's preview for the top games and events. Prep Mania on Deck is brought to you by Zimbrick Honda, a proud supporter of high school sports and local communities.
If you're considering solar energy, Sweet Metal Roofing and solar panels go hand in hand.
Solar panels install effortlessly over metal, and it enhances the efficiency of your solar energy.
Before you go solar,
install a Sweeta metal roof.
I'm Mike.
And Mary Sweeta. Enjoy the long-lasting architectural strength and beauty of a Sweeta metal roof.
SWITA metalroofing.com.
Sweeta Metal Roofing, the last roof you'll ever need.
Wild Rock Golf in the Wisconsin Dells, a must-play every golf season. Wild Rock Golf features championship golf in the heart of Wisconsin. Wild Rock, a Herdston Fry masterpiece that's cut from the natural beauty of the Wisconsin Dells and offers stunning views from elevated tee boxes. Wild Rock presents spectacular greens that roll fast and true. Wild Rock Golf in the Wisconsin Dells, a unique gem that offers a challenge to avid golfers of all abilities. Book your tee time today for this must-play at wildrockgolf.com, wildrockgolf.com.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
All day, every day, the Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
Tournament host Steve Stricker joins a star-studded group of PGA Tour champions at the American Family Insurance Championship. Catch the action June 6th through the 8th with an exciting team competition and a new tournament home at TPC, Wisconsin. This year's AmFam Champ concert features Megan Maroney with special guest Clint Black on Friday, June 6th at Bree Stevens Field. All proceeds support the Steve Stricker American Family Insurance Foundation and American Family Children's Hospital. Get your tickets today at amfamchampionship.com.
Spring is here. Time to get growing at Felly's Flowers and Greenhouse. Felly's has everything you need to bring your garden to life, including the largest selection of locally grown annuals, perennials, vegetable plants, and custom hanging baskets. Whether you're a seasoned gardener or just getting started, Felly's Greenhouse in Fitchburg has the best selection to make your garden bloom. Proudly voted Best of Madison, choose Felly's Flowers as your go-to garden destination. Visit us today and grow with Felly's.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The brand new ESPN Wisconsin app, a customizable homepage, easier and quicker live listening, your shows at the touch of a fingertip. The ESPN Wisconsin app is available in the Apple and Android app stores. Your state, your teams, your ESPN. Download the ESPN Wisconsin app today.
I was just kidding when I said we're going to throw some stones. We're going to throw some stones next segment here. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are presented by Coors Light. Jim Rutledge with you in the Everlight Solar Studio alongside Molly Brown and Matt Hamilton. You can see us on the ESPN Madison YouTube. You can stream us with the ESPN Wisconsin app. Primetime Laura Shine Behind the Glass. And I want to get to the Jaden Reed audio here. So he kind of clarified the report from ESPN earlier about him needing to be told that he's the Packers' number one guy. So let's hear that.
A lot of people misinterpreted that. Like, I hired a new agent, and we talked about it before even the draft, really, that, you know, he said that he was going to talk to, you know, the front office and everybody here to, you know, just catch up and make sure everybody on the same page. And as a new client, you know, he told me that's what he was going to do, and he did it. So now I don't know how I got out, because it was supposed to be confidential. But that's how it goes sometimes. People get a different perception, and they make their own perception, which is okay. But that's how it goes sometimes.
I love that interview. I love that he was just like, it is what it is. It was supposed to be confidential, but it's not, and it's fine.
It's kind of like what Wilde said, though, in the beginning was basically this is a conversation.
Oh, for sure. It's exactly what Wilde said. I just like the idea that, this didn't go exactly the way he thought it would go, but he really was just like, that's just water off a duck's back. No big deal. This is business.
It's still just going to be talked about every single game this season. The announcers are going to bring it up constantly, I feel like, even though it's essentially a nothing burger, that it was just his agent trying to do right, but
there's a couple factors, because then you got Dontavian Wicks with sort of social media. I don't know if he did like the eyes or whatever when Josh Jacobs said he needed number one. You had Romeo Dobbs, who missed practices last year.
Yep.
So you got a mercurial room, and so it's not the one.
And then you drafted a guy at the first overall.
And then you draft another guy. You have a room full of young players, and in a room or in a position that's full of egos, and no real veteran leaders in that room. You are begging for problems.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, to your point, it would probably come up, a good broadcaster would bring it up, like, in context of, like, hey, there's just been a lot of small little fires that had been put out in the wide receiver room, and then they added two receivers, the newest one getting paid more than anyone else in that room. And there's no vet in there to be like,
crazy.
hey, guys, like, I get it, but let's go try to win.
I will just always come back to Mark Chmura saying this. I'm trying to think if this was 2 years ago. Maybe it was I guess it probably would have been last year when Matt LaFleur basically said that he wants to vomit at Jason Wilde's question about a number one wide receiver, which Kay Adams actually asked him the exact same thing last week, essentially, but in different words. But Mark Chmura, he brought this up, and this was before anything happened. This was in very early, I think before the season even started, where he was like, it may all seem like it's going to be hunky-dory right now, and it's all, it's fun and games that all these guys are just going to split reps, like it's going to be great. But I remember him saying there will be one guy whose ego comes out and they want to be the number one person. They want to be the guy. Like, this will not always stay in this happy-go-lucky team and, we're all kikiing, we're all getting along as receivers, we're all in this together. It will always be the egos are going to come into play, and one guy will want to be the number one person. And that's what's happening, is that now we all thought that this was fun and games last year. I think we were all like, we don't need to have a number one wide receiver. Then once we saw last year shake out, we were like, holy crap, we need a number one wide receiver on this Packers team. And now look what's happening. Now there's arguments essentially happening that somebody wants to be the guy and nobody's stepping up to do it.
Do you think they need a number one wide receiver, or would they benefit more from just like an old head, like a Donald Driver type? Where like they're there.
Like if there was like a Cooper Kupp that came in?
Well, ideally,
because I know we talked about him, like he probably wouldn't be a number one wide receiver, but he's that veteran look.
It's more of like, I'm trying to think of a player, like it's more of you had a guy around, and so they understand the culture of just sometimes you pay a guy past 30, like Randall Cobb coming back, like someone who understands what it means to be a Packer, like Cooper Kupp.
Devontae Adams?
Yeah, Devontae Adams. But like Cooper Kupp coming in, he's new to the scene too. Like you've just had an old head around in the room. Because, I mean, who's the most veteran player on the Packers offense? Is it Jordan Love?
Elton Jenkins.
But like, I guess I'm curious. I've obviously never been in like an NFL locker room, but does an offensive lineman, even though like, would an Elton Jenkins veteran guy be able to control or kind of talk to receivers and stuff because you're not in the same position? Like, you can't relate on some level.
Well,
not as often. Like
Jordan Love would be the guy, and he's not that guy,
right?
But like he would be the guy that could like control that room or have that conversation. Or again, you would ideally it's keeping a guy around who maybe is a mid-level, like it's just a mid receiver, but you're like, I just want to have this player around, so then he's just in the room.
Yeah,
like it goes back to the Packers operate a lot everything on a whiteboard and not understanding like these are humans, and having people over 30 in the locker room does serve the purpose of just being.
There's something to be said for culture,
a mentor, a culture, and it's not that young guys can't have great culture, but when you're young, you just react more. Things are just a little different, and that's why teams pay vets. It's not always for past performance; it's also for like, hey, this guy knows what's going on.
The X factor,
the wily vet, like that exists for a specific reason, and it exists for sometimes you just need a little bit of what's the word here? I guess just help to make sure that locker room is in check. And I think that stuff matters. I mean, you see that with young teams. They didn't do it with Jordan Love, but whether it's bringing in a veteran quarterback, so then like Jordan Love could pick his brain when there's not coaching going. That's the other part of it too. Like if there's only so much coaching a team can do. Well, if you have a vet in every position group that's been around the team for a while, or even new, they could be like, hey, we're gonna do some of our own practices. You want to come with us? We'll help you watch film. We'll help you learn some extra footwork because the coaches can't do it because it's not allowed to do it right now, but we can do it. So, I'm not saying rookies will never do that. I'm just saying that having a vet is helpful.
Well, I mean, look at Xavier McKinney's training with Jaire.
Yeah.
He's the vet that's kind of taken at least one of the DBs that seems to have an issue with their contract and, going forward, he's at least making sure he's ready to play wherever he's playing. Now, Mike, I kind of have a question for Molly. She had said last year there's all this talk about number ones. Right? Mm-hmm. I don't really feel like there's that talk is lingering, but I don't think there's before this Drew Rosenhaus agent thing talked to the Packers on Jaden Reed's behalf, there wasn't really number one wide receiver talk. And then
you don't think so?
I think it was lingering from the year before. I don't think it was new.
The report that Schefter had put out was also because of the drafting of Matthew Golden in the first round and Savion Williams in the third round.
So I guess what I'm getting at is if Drew Rosenhaus and Jaden Reed, they chat, and Drew Rosenhaus is like, hey, is it cool with you if I check in with your team and find out what your standing is? And he's like, yeah, that's great. As my agent, you should know where I stand with the team. Drew Rosenhaus goes in and could ask about number one.
Who are you guys thinking is going to be the number one?
And that's what I'm saying. Is there's no reason for us to believe that Jaden Reed was like, hey, find out if I'm the number one guy. This could have been the agent kind of paraphrasing what he wants to know. Where's our standing? He had the most yards on the team last year and the year before. Is he the number one wide receiver?
But if you're confident in yourself,
but
why would you need to get that reassurance?
Reed saying that. That's the agent saying that.
But you just said that could have been him having the conversation. And I know we're just predicting what happened, but you just said that he was having the conversation with his agent.
With Drew Rosenhaus. Drew Rosenhaus saying, hey, I'm new to you. How about I get a feel for your standing in Green Bay?
More likely, though, an agent asks the question the player wants to ask but doesn't want to ask themselves.
Which to me shows your lack of confidence, and to me it looks pathetic.
Now again,
maybe pathetic is harsh.
Now again, I don't think the Reed thing, the Wicks thing, or the Dobbs things are necessarily big deals on their own and on face. It's just all of them together.
The Dobbs thing is a big deal,
but it goes all the way back to you have no veteran leaders in the locker room. You got Jenkins and Love. I don't know Jenkins' style. Love does. By all accounts, is a lead by example guy.
Are we considering?
Well, you got Josh Jacobs.
But he was brand new.
He was brand new last year.
So this year he could be a leader.
Yeah. But Tucker Kraft talked about being a leader.
Defense, offense is not that's not much.
But Tucker Kraft said that going into this next year, that is something that he wants to work on, is being a better leader. Also, I feel like Jason Wilde has also reported that Matt LaFleur has given the challenge to Jordan Love to step up as a leader as well. So that shows you something too.
I'm betting money on Kraft being the guy that he comes across as the guy as a leader. If you are in year 6 on a team, we're going into year 6 on a team, and you have to be challenged to be a leader. And again, I think Jordan Love is a leader. He's just not traditional leader.
See, but I don't think, and I know we talk about that he wasn't a rookie, obviously, when he started, but I feel like if you have somebody like a dominant presence like Aaron Rodgers that you're kind of sitting behind, you don't even have the chance to be a leader.
Okay, what about the last 2 years?
No, the last 2 years, I'm saying yes, but I'm saying I don't think the years that Aaron Rodgers was here, I don't think we can say, oh, you've been here for 6 years, you should be a leader. It's when Aaron Rodgers left, he should have stepped up right away and been like, this is what we're doing. He should have commanded a presence.
You don't have to lead the whole locker room. Jordan Love still could have been all the young guys could have been coming to him because Aaron Rodgers left the leadership void. The counterpoint is Aaron Rodgers was not a great leader. And so all of a sudden that leadership void, I think that's kind of what Aaron did when Brett was around. When Aaron, as an example, when Brett left, the players were very ready to play for Aaron. And so because Aaron had created a leadership style that some of the guys flocked to, even though he wasn't the full-on leader of the team. He was a leader on the team. Mm-hmm. And again, I think Jordan Love is still I don't question him as not a leader. I just think it's more of he's not a demonstrative leader, like a Charles Woodson would be, or I'm trying to think of Donald Driver, like the ones that were true elite leaders. Mm-hmm. Everyone can lead in their own way. We got to throw some stones. We'll do that next.
You're listening live from St. John's, Newfoundland. The Newfies love Jim, Matt, and Molly. 100.5 ESPN Madison.
Look, we all know that as we age, our bodies change, but Carbon World Health can help. They have a process of testosterone replacement therapy that includes a diagnostic exam and blood tests to assess your hormone levels to make sure that they are optimal for you, not optimal for your age. Carbon World Health can help you increase your energy, focus, and overall health with their approach to hormone therapy. It's all about quality of life for you. Learn more at carbonworldhealth.com.
Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side. When you see Diamond Jim, you can count on him to be on your side. Selection beyond compare with on-site repair, so you can wear your jewelry with pride. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Hi, Dave from Canopy Wealth Management here. Our balanced approach helps guide you through a complex and ever-changing landscape. Throughout your family's financial planning journey, we will serve as a partner, advocate, and steward in all aspects to help you achieve your goals with confidence. At Canopy, care, competence, and clarity, it's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Cheesy Bites Pizza is back at Pizza Hut. For only $13.99, you get a large pizza with 28 pullable, poppable, cheese-filled bites. Plus, it comes with Pizza Hut's very own Ranch Lovers Flight, featuring 3 bold dips: Ultimate Ranch, Chipotle Ranch, and Pepperoni Ranch. 1 large pizza, 3 dips, endless flavor. Ready to dip into deliciousness? Well, hurry. It's only available for a limited time. Head to a Pizza Hut location or order online at pizzahut.com today. Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Memorial Day savings are here at Brothers Maine. Shop unbeatable deals on top brands like GE Appliances, Cafe, Hotpoint, and Monogram. Plus, enjoy expert support and free local delivery. Visit us today and feel like family at Brothers Maine.
We ask and you answer. Tune in to Jim, Matt, and Molly every weekday 4 to 6 and follow at Jim, Matt, Molly on X to vote in daily poll questions. Presented by Siding Unlimited, your local window installation pros.
Ready to live the high life at home? Miller High Life is giving one lucky winner the ultimate backyard dive bar experience. It's a cabana complete with classic bar vibes, neon lights, and of course, plenty of high life. To enter, just order a Miller High Life at any participating dive bars in the Madison area and register with the link to the Miller High Life Backyard Dive Bar giveaway. Get a ticket to Dive Bar Glory at your local watering hole, like Jerry's Place, Utica Bar, and Madison VFW 8483.
Welcome to the Chevy Lightning Round. Guess the clues to win. First team, you're up.
Powerful, commanding, unstoppable.
Silverado.
Adventurous, fun, techie.
Trailblazer.
Stylish, nimble.
Trax.
Innovative, electric.
Blazer EV. Lightning Round champions. You've guessed all the right Chevy clues.
Wherever the year takes you, explore it together in the Chevy of your choice. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
Well,
Go be a winner. Winners go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. Millions of dollars are won every single weekend at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. So go be a winner and go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. It is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are presented by Coors Light. Jim Rutledge with you alongside Molly Brown and Matt Hamilton. Primetime Wallerstein with you in the Everlight Solar studio. You can see us on the ESPN Madison YouTube. You can stream us with the ESPN Wisconsin app. And I want to actually circle back to some audio that we played earlier about Giannis. From the Pat McAfee show. And I want to get back to the idea of, are the Bucks guilt-tripping Giannis? So let's hear Shams on the Pat McAfee show from yesterday.
But the Bucks are operating as if, listen, loyalty's going to win out. We're going to have Giannis there. He's been there for 12 years. You know, a player like that, loyalty means a lot, equity means a lot. And so the Bucks are banking on that. They're banking on a gap year, essentially, where they're going to be able to retool around Giannis.
Oh, they're going to guilt trip him. Love that.
Sounds like it. It's
Love a
going to
good
be
guilt
something of a
trip.
gap year because they only have one first-round pick they can trade.
So what do you think about the idea of the idea that the Bucks are basically trying to guilt trip Giannis into taking a gap year so they can try to fix things on the fly? Because they're basically telling him, this year we are going to, we won't stink because you're on the team, but this year we're going to have to be kind of stinky, and we'll basically clear our books so then we can make a run for the to be back in title contention afterwards, which is a big risk because that then requires nobody's coming to Milwaukee if Giannis doesn't then redo his deal. Like, he can restructure his deal or sign an extension in the summer of 2026, so next offseason. So the Bucks are basically saying, hey, just simulate this season with us. If you're playing NBA, like, we're just going to skip through it, and then you'll come back and play. And I just want to list off of, like, there's not a lot. They have to do everything really through a trade because free agents. There is LeBron James with a player option. He ain't coming here. James Harden's not leaving the Clippers. I don't think LeBron's leaving the Lakers, and I don't think Kyrie is going to leave Dallas. They all have player options. Julius Randle, I would imagine he's going to stay too with his player option. Maybe he goes somewhere else. But then Fred VanVleet, team option. I don't think you could
Where
afford.
even is Fred VanVleet these days?
Houston. He's good. He's a good player. Paid a lot.
Well, he's bounced around a lot. That's why I'm like
Toronto to Houston.
Oh, it just feels
and then Miles Turner, unrestricted free agent. That's really the only unrestricted one. Then you have restricted free agents like Josh Giddey, Quentin Grimes, which means you probably are going to have to trade. I don't really know how you get in a bidding war because the Bucks still really have like mid-levels. They don't have like just open cash space. Jonathan Kuminga, Keon Ellis from the Kings, the center, and then you can get Dorian Finney-Smith. Sorry. Aging starters is what he's listed as. Brook Lopez, Chris Paul, Al Horford, and then some fringe starters. Ty Jerome, unrestricted free agent. That get you excited? Malik Beasley. Oh, bring him back. Naz Reid, Karis LeVert, Gary Trent Jr., so like, what are you doing with this? So my question is, are the Bucks just leaning heavily into guilt trip? Like, is their plan of guilt tripping Giannis into staying and leaning on what a loyal guy he is fair to Giannis?
I mean, no, it's not fair to Giannis, but like,
what else he got?
That's how contracts go. Like,
well, he can go. He can leave. If he has to go, he'll go.
That's why I think
he needs to be traded.
He's more right, but he's more than honored his contract. If he has to be traded, nobody in the state of Wisconsin should feel upset for a second.
I think he would be incredibly not smart to stay here.
Yeah,
like that is what it comes down to.
I agree with that, but when it comes to like the not fair thing, it's like, yeah, sure, it's not fair to like guilt him into staying here, but
what does it say about the Bucks
let's just call it what it is. Like, it's not fair for this guy to get the last 2 years of his supermax to stay in Milwaukee. Like, he's the guy. It's not like we're keeping him here. He's got incentive to stay here, and that's a supermax contract. It's not unfair. It's a tough situation.
I was gonna say, he doesn't need the
What I'm saying is, at some point, the player who has been with you for a while, sure, he doesn't owe you anything, but it's not unfair to keep the guy just because he wants to go win more titles you don't think you can do it.
Keep. I said it, and pathetic might be the right word. That the only leg you have to stand on is to basically beg the guy, being like, "Hey, you're super loyal, and you love it here, and we screwed up, and we've ruined this roster, and we burned the whole thing to the ground. Can you give us a mulligan?" Like, that's pathetic. That's really what the Bucks are at going to Giannis. Like, hey, we screwed it up. We are hemorrhaging money with coaches we are paying. Our GM has traded away the entire world. We got a bunch of aging players that are hurt. Now we got a bunch of bad players because we didn't build a roster that would fit how you and Dame would play together. We never actually considered that part of it. So we're trash. We burned the whole thing to the ground. And will you go small again? That's pathetic.
So are they not going to ask Giannis, like, hey, since you kind of helped with this and got Adrian Griffin fired, which we're paying for, and then you wanted to get Dame, and not to say Dame was bad, but Dame's now hurt. Like, you had influence on this, too. We're both a part of
so
this.
Does LeBron did that and he left Cleveland.
Okay.
Like, that's
people
not uncommon.
Cried the same thing, loyalty, and they were upset with him for leaving.
It was a little different with LeBron. He did a whole
Well, for sure
TV
it's
show.
different. I'm not saying it's not.
I'm saying it's pathetic that the Bucks are in this position where all they have to do with Giannis is go to him and say, hey, Mulligan.
Hey, Giannis, we went all in for you. We tried everything we possibly could. We took your direction. We burned every asset we possibly had, and it didn't work out. Do you want to stick around with us because we did this together? Or if you want to go, we can use you as a trade asset.
It's just a pathetic place the Bucks are in. It sucks.
Pathetic's not the right word.
It is. It's pathetic. The Bucks are pathetic right now.
That the Bucks tried to go all in. It didn't work.
I said their situation currently is pathetic.
No, it's what we hope for all of our teams to do.
Is sad. It's not pathetic. They took a chance and it failed. It's not pathetic.
It's not your fault.
They are honestly.
We are begging for the Packers to do this, and if they fail, Molly's not going to call it pathetic.
I am calling it pathetic.
Okay, you're wrong. That's fine.
What the Bucks look like right now is sad, right? Like we listed off what their entire
roster
roster looks
in the league without Giannis.
It is really, really bad, and they've put themselves into a crummy situation, which they should have, like you said. Like they essentially let Giannis be a semi GM, right?
Decisions at least ran through him.
They put all their eggs in one basket, right? Like they did all these things
which is
that
what
accumulated.
Every team does with every star player.
But the Bucks didn't figure out the correct balance so that if something were to happen, knowing that Giannis can literally request to leave at any point in time because he is a superstar, they did not set themselves up for success.
Correct.
So do I call that pathetic? I don't know. I think that the Bucks are very sad right now. I think it is a crummy time to be a Milwaukee Bucks fan, but like you said, like if the Packers did this and they tried, I would be happy as heck.
If they had a great team and kept falling short like that, that would be pathetic. They tried to go all in and take some swings and missed. That's not pathetic. Yes, it can still be sad. It can be devastating for the situation the Bucks are currently in, but nothing that they did and the process they tried to do to get Giannis another championship, in my opinion, is pathetic.
I'm saying their roster right now is pathetic, and it's a pathetic situation they're in. They did it to themselves, but they are begging. They have to go to their star and beg them for a mulligan. And
you don't have anything else.
True.
Yeah,
they do have to ask for a mulligan. I'm not denying that.
And they're basically leaning on Giannis's good nature,
which is sad.
And the fact that Giannis also held a shovel while digging this hole that the Bucks are currently.
But he can't be blamed for it because he's a superstar.
Yeah, that's just the league,
right?
All right, and that's might be part
business.
of what they're also leaning into. Is like, hey, we know you're fiercely loyal, but you also helped us make this bet.
Would that work? Guilt trip? Hey, this is partially your fault. You want to stay? Pathetic.
Do you want to stay?
That sounds pathetic. That if you're a GM and it's like, hey, you were a part of the mess I created, so will you stay around and help me create it?
But see, if they do that, though, like, you're burning bridges with Giannis, right? Like, if my employer made me feel that way, I'd be upset, and I'd be like, all right.
I'm not saying they should do any of this. I'm just saying the situation is what it is. Giannis was a part of this pathetic roster that's currently being put on the floor.
You have to admit that outside of Giannis, especially with Dame hurt, the roster is a disaster.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, all right.
I'm just saying Giannis is a part of it.
We'll throw some stones next.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
At Gruber Law Offices, we take great pride in helping those who have trusted us after a serious accident. Our team has the knowledge, resources, and experience to get you the results you deserve. Don't wait to get the help you need. Make the right call. Call Gruber Law Offices today. Proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. One call, that's all.
Hello, I'm John Hayes, the owner of Goodman's Jewelers. It's been my pleasure to serve this community from this incredible store for over 4 decades. We stand upon high standards and classic traditions, pillars like honesty and integrity. Stop into Goodman's Jewelers, the longest-standing full-service jewelry store in the heart of Madison at 220 State Street. Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison since 1933.
The best is at Goodman's.
Tournament host Steve Stricker joins a star-studded group of PGA Tour champions at the American Family Insurance Championship. Catch the action June 6th through the 8th with an exciting team competition and a new tournament home at TPC, Wisconsin. This year's AmFam Champ concert features Megan Maroney with special guest Clint Black on Friday, June 6th at Breese Stevens Field. All proceeds support the Steve Stricker American Family Insurance Foundation and American Family Children's Hospital. Get your tickets today at amfamchampionship.com.
All day, every day, the Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
At Metro Ford of Madison, they sell vehicles that are built in America for America. This month, enjoy their You Pay What We Pay sale. The 2024 Ford Mach-E offers 0% APR financing for 72 months. $13.89 cost for $1,000 borrowed. The 2024 Ford F-150 is available with 2.9% APR financing for 66 months. $16.47 per $1,000 borrowed. Bonus cash available on XLT and SXT models. All offers available to qualified credit. Browse their inventory at MetroFordofMadison.com.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
Bo here from Ridgetop Exteriors. Southern Wisconsin got hit hard with hail recently. If your home took a beating, now's the time to take action. We've been delivering top quality roofing, siding, and window services locally for over 23 years. With free damage assessments and insurance experts on staff, we've been your licensed, local, and trusted contractor since day one. Don't wait until small damage becomes a big problem. Turn to Ridgetop Exteriors today. RidgetopExteriors.com. That's RidgetopExteriors.com.
Ridgetop Exteriors.
Big winners are wanted this May at Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison, so saddle up and ride on in for the biggest prizes in town. It's all fixing to start at high noon on Saturday, May 31st. 30 winners will each be selected to collect a $1,000 prize. And that same afternoon, 3 more of our most wanted will each wrangle a $10,000 cash prize. That's $60,000 paid out in one day. Get your share of the bounty this May at
Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions.
God knows I am reincarnated. I was stargazing. Life goes on, honey.
You guys know I love my ZOA energy. It gives me the perfect boost without the crash that other energy drinks kind of give you. ZOA fuels both my workouts and my busy workday, and it's packed with benefits, including vitamins B and C and electrolytes. Head over to ZOAenergy.com to find where you can pick up some ZOA for yourself.
She's Molly Brown. I'm Jim Rutledge alongside Matt Hamilton. Let's throw some stones.
1, 2, 3,
Some takes are cooler than others.
You know this kid is as cool as the other side of the pillow.
Some opinions are just cooler than the rest.
Now what's cooler than being cool? Ice cold.
And if you keep it chill, then it's a cold take.
Chill out. I'm chill. I'm chill as a cucumber, man.
I'm always the coldest.
This is Throwing Stones, presented by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's chillest Kia dealership.
And we have the NBA Western Conference Finals coming up here at 7 o'clock pregame on ESPN Madison. Tip-off at 7:30. So who are you guys rooting for in the rest of the playoffs here? Not to matter who you think is going to win. I'll say this. I'm curious how Bucks fans feel. Like OKC and Indiana are versions of the Bucks as far as they are teams that need to win to fill their arena. They're Midwest teams. They are teams that one, I guess, more built around a star than the other, like Shea, and then there's a lot of good players around OKC. Halliburton is an ascending player. I don't know where he falls in the star rankings. I would not call him a superstar on the Giannis, LeBron, like Kevin Durant, Steph Curry level. I think he's a really good player. But who are you rooting for? Because I want OKC and the Knicks still.
Well, I was rooting for the Knicks, but I don't think it's going to happen. I'm not feeling great about that anymore. But I think the Knicks are just so fun to watch. I love Jalen Brunson. So I would love to see them. And I get torn because I really like Ant. Like, I think he's awesome. I think he's so exciting to watch. But Shea is also very likable as well. So I could go either way with that one, but I think the OKC wraps it up tonight, unfortunately. Fortunately. I don't know.
I like to see Knicks OKC.
Yeah, Knicks is good for the NBA. That's kind
Knicks
of a big
is
part.
very good. I love seeing, like, I know it gets annoying after a while to see all the celebrities, but I love seeing the celebrities that are all there. It's crazy.
Yeah.
All the former players, just everybody. It's so fun.
Can't wait for everybody to start complaining about all the people that the celebrities they show at the Knicks games.
Yeah,
right? Same way they do at the Super Bowl.
Until it's OKC in Indiana and no celebrities are showing up. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly presented by Coors Light.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in